Good evening, and thank you guys for joining us as always on Speed Racing Network. I'm Greg Olenik with a special guest host tonight. It's going to be Ted Rekich. Ted, how you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm doing great tonight, man. I'm pretty amped up for this race. It's great to be up in the booth here. I think we're going to see an exciting one. We'll see. I know they've been griping about the setups that iRacing gave them, but it's going to make them wheel it.
Yeah, man, and everybody's going out there with the same setup, so you can't have too much complaining now that they are out there on the track practicing. Just finishing up practice right now, but Ted, we had a great race on Thursday as well as Wednesday in the truck series, and a lot of grooves out here on this Homestead Miami Speedway. What do you expect to see with these Cup cars? You think we'll get a lot of three-wide racing in the turns, or you think they'll just hit that bottom line and stay there?
If it's anything like the first two races, Greg, I see them getting a little bit aggressive on restarts. I'm going to see them get single file probably a little bit. Saving tires is going to be the name of the game. That's how it was Thursday. That's how it was Wednesday. The best of the best are going to rise to the top. So we're really excited to see this.
I couldn't agree more. We got 33, maybe some more drivers out there tonight. Hopefully some more get out there because it is going to be a great show for you guys. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Let's go ahead and move on here in the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. We got a lot to get to here tonight and give you a little bit of the detail of what we're doing here in this Week 5 Beach Battle 195. As I said, we are in Homestead Miami Speedway, and we got 130 laps to sort this thing out here in the Cup Series, and no fast repairs, Ted.
Yeah, people are going to really have to save their stuff. I mean, no fast repairs compared to last season. Cup, I don't believe we did have one, but I know the Xfinity Series and the trucks did. So they're definitely really going to have to watch riding by that wall. I know that high groove seems tempting, but save it for late in the race.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to seem like a very long race, but it's going to fly by. I have a feeling that we're going to see maybe two long green flag runs here tonight. It's a very wide racing surface out there, giving these guys a lot of options of where they want to make some passes. What do you think, Ted? Do you think you'll see the same?
So you're going to see passings, like I said, pretty early. You're going to get one or two people probably battling side by side, wasting their stuff. You're going to see them drop back. We know how that was on the track Thursday. You saw the real aggressive guys kind of get up there and then kind of just set their pace. But there was a lot of other aggressive guys that kind of dropped back. So I'm kind of excited to see what the teams are going to do here because I know they all like to talk and get in Discord and kind of plan their race. So I believe pit stops are about 40 laps, I think, is what we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, I think 40 is about as far as these guys will be able to stretch it. So hopefully we get some good green flag pit stops and some great green flag racing for you guys out there in YouTube. So let's go ahead and move on now to the league details, as we always do here on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. It's a 20-week fixed setup league. As we've already mentioned, no fast repairs. And these Cup guys pay a pretty chunky fee, $15 per week to get in the show. And they are racing for weekly as well as season payouts, $1,000 going to that first place champion. And we got 5-person teams, or up to 5-person teams, I should say. And those guys are racing for a nice little prize, too, in the team championship pool.
Oh, they want that money, man. They're going to fight tooth and nail till the end of the season.
Yeah, man, $1,000 doesn't sound too bad, does it?
Right in the pocket, man. Take the girl out for a nice dinner. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, we got to get to the playoffs first, and that's what these guys are really battling for so far, and that's going to take place after Week 13. As we've already mentioned, we're only in Week 5, but they are racing for something each week, and it's up on your screen right now. First place going to come away with a nice $45, second going to get a nice $30, and third through fifth going to get their money back.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, man. I mean, it gives you the incentive in the race to get up there and get after it on the wheel. I think you're going to see the cream rise of the crop tonight. I mean, look through the field. Who do we have here on P1 in practice? We see James Holzer there, and then followed by Landon Lacey, and then Kyle M. Benson. So take your picks there. Those guys are pretty quick.
Yeah, you're used to running up here towards the front. These payouts get used for more than just, going into your pocket. These guys use this as far as, maybe setting up a training session with someone or even just using it for future entry fees.
I'll tell you what, Kane Cook, man, Greg, you can attest to it. That guy knows what he is doing.
Yeah, that's a good segue into our next segment here on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. You see it there, Kane Cook Sim Coaching and that beautiful Fistful of Bourbon 15 machine. And this man, like I said, or like Ted just said, I have worked with him for about the past, maybe 15 or so racing weeks, and he has completely changed the way I approach every race, whether it's in race or setting up my prep leading up to the race. You know, I always do it once a week with Kane, and he gets me ready to go out there. But, man, you can see it there. He's got 2 accounts, both of which are over 7,000 I rating, and he has a professional license racing in the Coca-Cola Series for that $300,000 prize, Ted. So this is definitely someone you want to learn from.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure the guys eat it up every now and then. If you're smart, you're definitely going to. So with that amount of payout at the end, $1,000 for that season, man, it's time to go.
Yeah, and I always like to say, you know, people might be a little bit shy racing with a Coke Series professional, but, man, he really does a great job of getting down on your level, per se, and just helping you understand that track any way you can. And, but let's go ahead now and check out our season payouts up here on the screen. Producer, jumping the gun a little bit. We'll get back to Kane in just a minute. But here you go. This is what the season payouts are looking like for the Cup Series. First place going to come away with a cool $1,000. Second place coming away with $600. Third place going to get $350, with fourth getting $200. Fifth place going to get a nice $125. Sixth place now, you know, we only paid the top 5. We got 6th through 8th as well here in the season payout. Sixth going to come away with $100. Seventh going to get 75, and eighth going to get 50. So that's looking pretty nice, huh, Ted?
Oh, it's fantastic, man. I mean, it's rare that you ever see leagues do this. I mean, that's one heck of a prize that these drivers go out and fight for week in and week out. So it definitely gives them that incentive. It's nice to see.
Yeah, so definitely something cool here on SRN. We always appreciate all the stuff they do for us drivers, but I just wanted to go back and mention one more thing as we jump the gun a little bit on the Kane Cook Sim Coaching. And if you guys are interested in booking a session with Kane Cook, it's very easy to do. You see it right there in the red text. Just type in speedracingnetwork.com on your web browser. That'll take you right to the league's page. Just scroll down a little bit. Once you get to that home page, you'll see the prompts. Just go ahead and click a few buttons, and you will set up a time with the man, and by then you're off and running, and you will have all the training that you need. And I'm telling you guys, this is something that you do not want to pass up on. It's a unique opportunity that, you know, you guys have the advantage or the opportunity to take advantage of. So please do so if you're interested. But let's go ahead now, move on to our favorite segment here on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. That is going to be the beer of the week, and Sean Griffith has it for us this week.
This week's Beer of the Week comes out of Noda Brewing Company in North Carolina. Every year around this time, we start to see pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice healthy smoothies, and yes, even pumpkin spice macaroni and cheese. But one pumpkin spice product stands out above the rest, Noda's Gorgeous Pumpkin Ale. It has been hitting the shelves during the fall season since 2013. You'll get all the flavors you're expecting. You'll get the brown sugar, the cardamom, the cloves, and yes, even the allspice. What started off as a homebrew by head brewer Chad Henderson has turned into a seasonal favorite. This beer has even won 2 gold medals at the Great American Beer Festival, so you know it's awesome. And this isn't just artificial flavoring, they use real pumpkin in the brew. So leave the pumpkin spice lattes at the coffee shop, go get some Noda Gorgeous Pumpkin Ale. The Beer of the Week is sponsored by Beer Street Journal, the leading publication in craft beer reviews. Go to beerstreetjournal.com to find your next great beer. And as always, you must be 21 to enjoy, and please drink responsibly.
Well, thanks as always to our producer, Sean Griffith, for this week's Beer of the Week. You see, it's Noda Brewing Company's Gorgeous Pumpkin Ale, and I gotta love seeing this company up here because they are a Charlotte-based brewing company, so I am very familiar with Noda Brewing. Definitely check them out. How does a pumpkin-flavored beer sound to you in August, Ted?
In August, we're a little bit early, but I'll tell you what, it is definitely going to hit those taste buds just right. I mean, these guys know exactly what they're doing. They've got good reviews. I kind of just looked them up on Yelp here. So you guys got to get down, get out, and support their business. It's just the way to go. October's coming, baby.
Yeah, I mean, another way to check them out is just going to beerstreetjournal.com. Got to thank Beer Street Journal for coming on board with us here at SRN this season. I absolutely love doing these segments each week. So please go ahead, check out Nota Brewing at beerstreetjournal.com. Now, moving on, we got to get down to business here. We're in Week 5 action. Let's go ahead and see how these points are shaping up, and we're looking at the inside the cut standings right now. James Holzer at the top with a 14-point lead over Tank Racing's Reese Schaefer, followed closely by Scott Healy there in third. Ted, any names sticking out to you here in the top 15?
Listen, I'm looking at Scott Healy in third. He's buying time. I mean, that's last year's champion. You can't count him out ever. Dean Brummett, one of the most patient people I've raced around when I was in the Cup Series. That guy, he can get around a track. He can figure it out. You give him a couple laps, and he'll be there.
Yeah, and I mean, 7th place, Kyle Benson, really starting to catch momentum lately here in the Cup Series. Having a great run with Murray Reedy Smith Road Racing, and Landon Lacey, now a full-time Cup Series driver, sitting there 9th in points. And Dalton Tucker, he is a newcomer to the league. He's sitting in the top 10 in Rev Racing's stable.
And then in the 11th, round out 11th, man, you got Joshua Ballier and Tank Racing, 98 points. You got Austin Reedy in 12th. John Honeycutt in 13th. Jacob Smith in 14th. And David Duke in 15th. It's nice to see David Duke up there. I know he had a lot of bad luck last year, so he's doing well so far.
Yeah, well, for every top 15, there are those guys that are sitting outside the cut as well, and sitting there right there in 16th, looking to get inside the cuts. Bo Brady, he's had a really good season for his first run here in SRN with Stryker Motorsports. Christopher Lawrence tied with him as well. We're surprised to see Scott Kalal sitting outside the top 15, just to name a few more. You got Kyle Spees sitting there in 21st. Nicholas Goen, he won the Xfinity Series race here at Homestead earlier on in the week. And, you got a few other names as well that stick out. Max Service down there in 33rd. What do you think of these guys? Who are you thinking that's going to jump up this week, Ted?
I'm seeing a lot of new names on this list, man, ever since, I was there. From the races this season, it's looking like everybody's showing up, so that's the nice thing. I mean, you're looking down in the 30s, everybody's participating. That's what we want, people coming out here, running laps, good competition, putting on a good show for this broadcast. So I'm gonna have to say Nicholas Goen, being down there, I mean, I believe he just won our Xfinity race, so sitting there in 25th, I think he's gonna rise a little bit up. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. But like you said, you got to be in it to win it for that $1,000 grand prize at the end of the season. So these guys need to get it going as the season winds on. We're going to be running out of weeks to make it to the playoffs. But let's go ahead now, look at the team standings here on the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. And Next Level Motorsports up there in first with 429 points. Murray Reedy Smith Road Racing tied with Tank Racing for second. Rev Racing is going to be fourth. And then fifth is going to be R&D Motorsports, with 6 being Stryker Motorsports. And rounding out the top 7 is going to be Ramsey Cole Racing, with just 2 drivers in their stable.
Oh, at that tie for second, man, it is going to get heated down to the very end. I see we're probably going to have Rev Racing bouncing up and down, just depending on what goes on there. Stryker Motorsports, I'm surprised to see down the list there, but we'll see how they do tonight.
Yeah, just to give you guys an update, as always, this season's different with these team standings. These are going to go into the playoffs, and then these guys are going to be put into a playoff type format where they're going to go 1 against 7, 6 against 2, and so on and so forth. So this is really just for seeding as we get to those team championship playoffs. So this really not holding much water right now, but definitely seeding will be a factor. So we will continue to pay attention to this as the season goes on. But now let's get to the fun part of the show and get to the team introductions here. And that first team on the list is going to be Next Level Motorsports. And they're going to have some new guys on this team here. James Holzer in the 42 machine with the 25 of Dean Brummett. Gabriel Ellison also on Next Level Motorsports with Landon Lacey there in the 53 and the 88 of Nick Owen.
That's looking like an all-star team to me, Greg. That is a lineup for Next Level Motorsports. Just reclassified recently, but we'll see how they do till the end of the season.
Yeah, new team on the block. Going to have to see how they really gel together, first week out there racing together in their Discord. So we'll see how it works for them. But now let's go ahead and move on to the next team on the list. That's going to be Tank Racing out here, and they're having a really great season here for their Cup Series team. Like I said, tied for second right now, and they're going to have a few names on their list that stick out. Joshua Balliot in the 7, the 17 of Reese Schaefer, the 57 of Emerson Ardon, the 77 of Seth Berger, always with a bunch of fans out there in chat, and the 81 of Max Service.
I know these guys pride themselves each week. They love to get out there. They love to be competitive. So, you know what? You can't miss them out on the track with their paint schemes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they did technically get a Cup Series win last week with their independent guy out of the Xfinity Series, Adrian Schumacher, winning at the Roval. So these guys in the 5-car stable for their Cup team definitely looking to get that winner sticker next to one of their names. Now moving on to the next team on our Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. It's going to be the other team that's tied with Tank for that second place standing. It's going to be Murray Reedy Smith Road Racing here, and they got quite a little roster that's coming together as well. The 1 car of Austin Reedy going to be there at the top. The 10 of Kyle Benson has run fantastic this year. Jacob Smith getting that win at Dover, also coming home in second at the Roval last week, having a great start to his season. The 13 of Craig Lautenslager, as well as the 50 of John Honeycutt, can also be a threat each week as well.
It doesn't surprise me one bit to see that number 11 of Jacob Smith with that winner sticker. The kid, he's honestly one of the top contenders week in, week out, unless he runs into bad luck. So Austin Reedy out there too. It's they've got a pretty strong team here.
They do. And now moving on to our 4th place team here in the team standings. It's going to be R&D Motorsports, and that's going to be headed by their team captain, the 78 of David Duke himself. Really fast out there in practice. Only 2 other guys on the squad right now. The 15 of Brian Mabry, who's had a really good start to this season in his tenure here in SRN. And the 55 of Jordan Saylor is looking to get the ball rolling here this week.
I kind of want to see what happens in the coming week here. I know next week rosters are being closed. You're going to have to ride out the season with what you got, and that means everything for the team standings, Greg.
Yeah, we only score 3 people each week for those team standings, so they're probably going to want to get a 4th as well. So they're going to have to get to work on that. Good call, Ted, pointing that out. But now, with just 2 minutes left in this pre-race show, let's go ahead and move on to the 5th place team, and that's going to be Revved Racing. They have quite a nice team as well, trying to get the ball rolling here. The 3 of Byron McDonald, the 23 of Scott Kalal, who's pretty fast out there today, the 36 Kyle Spees, who can get it done week in and week out, the 73 of Dalton Tucker, as well as the 99 of Christopher Lawrence.
Looking like a good stable to me there, Greg. I mean, and I'll tell you what, you can't miss that number 3 of Byron McDonald out there. That thing stands out.
Yeah, he loves doing his paints, and they turn out fantastic. We see them all the time in our paint showroom in Discord, but this is a team who is kind of sitting a little bit low in the team standings, need to get, like I said, the ball rolling for this camp, as we are running out of weeks here, running in week 5 already. So now let's move on to the 6th place team in those team standings. It's going to be Stryker Motorsports, and they have a nice little team forming as well. A lot of new guys on the team, but some veterans as well. The 05 of Mike Lewis, the 19 of Bo Brady, who we mentioned is running pretty well, sitting just outside the cut. The 37 of Raul Meza, quietly running really well this season. 48 of Kyle Johnson, who had a really good start to his season at Daytona. And the 96 of Joe Ruggles Jr.
I see a lot of new names here for me. I'm going to definitely keep my focus tonight and see where these guys finish. It's nice to see that Stryker Motorsports has entered the Cup Series, and we hope for the continuation. So go get them, boys.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the final team in the team standings before moving on to the independents. And this is a pretty small team on the stable, hence their standings falling down to 7th. But Andrew Lewis and Ty Cole, both fast in their own rights. I know, Ted, you're probably not going to know these names too well.
These are some new faces, so I'm just going to have to be looking all around tonight and see exactly what's going on. So it is nice to see everybody up and coming into this Cup Series, though. I mean, this is a very competitive bunch, and that's what we want here. Yeah. We want to put on a good show, and that's what these guys work hard for.
Well, before we get to that show, let's see these independent drivers out there tonight. Quite a big list here. John Doc Holliday, Michael Politis, Zach Taylor, Zach Deutscher, Dean Brummett, Brian O'Shell, Joshua Siegfried, last season's Cup champion, Scott Healy in the 87 of Chad Wampler rounding out this list. And these are some pretty big names in this list, am I right?
Oh, it is too. And then seeing Dean Brummett and Scott Healy independents, I'm wondering where they're going to be at next week. I see them as high-value targets for any team looking.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead, get out to the track, and see what our starting grid looks like. And Landon Lacey there running for his new team, Next Level Motorsports, going to be on the pole tonight. Zachary Taylor out of the Xfinity Series going to be starting second. I just want to give him a special shout out. The man bowled a perfect 300, his first perfect 300 out there this week, so congratulations to him. Third place going to be James Holzer, with fourth place being Joshua Siegfried.
And then rounding out that top 5, we got Dean Brummett in that 25, Timothy Latham in that 5 for Next Level Motorsports in 6th. In 7th, you're going to see Gabriel Ellison in Next Level Motorsports 27. And rounding out in that 8th, Austin Reedy.
Yeah, 9th place going to be Scott Kalal out of Rev Racing. Dalton Tucker, another Rev Racing driver in that 73, going to round out our top 10. David Duke, good to see him in this top 12 start in 11th. And Reese Schaefer going to be in that 12th place position out of Tank Racing. So, Ted, I'm sure you've seen our broadcasts before. We always like to make a pick before the race starts. Who are you going with tonight, bud?
Whew. Well, I saw Zachary Taylor there in Xfinity get a little loose, so let's see if he's got it under control here. I know that guy gives it his all, so I don't know. I'm going to go with the independent.
Okay, I see. That's a beautiful car, too. Kind of themed after Brad Keselowski's car that he ran. I'm not exactly sure the track, but, man, cool-looking car out there. I'm going to make a little bit of a pick a little further on back in the pack. I'm going to take that 17 of Reese Schaefer tonight. I think that he is going to get Tank Racing's Cup Series team their first win of the season. I called it on Wednesday. I picked Jonathan Byer to win that Truck Series race, getting their team their first ever win in that series. I think that Reese Schaefer gets it done for Tank Racing tonight.
Well, now, Greg, we're seeing this field come onto the track. I mean, they're going to come out at 2 here right behind the pace car. How are you feeling? I mean, you think this is going to be action-packed? I feel like it's just going to be just that.
You know, it's definitely always hard to say. We got a lot of independents here this week, and, you know, a new team on the block. It's going to see how they work together. They're going to be starting right behind one another. Landon Lacey here and James Holzer starting first and third, so we'll see how well they work together. But I honestly do think we're going to see some great action out here tonight and a lot of good racing, good clean racing. I don't think these cars are going to really step out on these guys too much with this big wide track. And another thing to point out is that cautions are hard to get when these guys wreck down the bottom. But, you know, we are under green as we see the pace car dip down to the pit road. Landon Lacey bringing him to the stripe. Zach Taylor gets a great restart. We already got Dean Brummett stepping down on the inside to James Holzer with 3 wide. He's trying to make a move for the lead.
Oh, they are fanning out. They are getting after it. Just like I said, restarts are going to be action-packed. They want to settle in here in a few laps. Wait for that high side. I want to see who goes after it.
Yeah, just look further back in the pack, as you said, just scattering all over the place, looking for any open track that they can find and make a move. All these lanes really work. Wow, they get really close to the wall up there. But, man, Dean Brummett in that 25 machine really making a great move to start at the race, already staring down Landon Lacey for that lead.
I'm just waiting for somebody to step over that limit, you know, on restarts. Everybody likes to get close to that fender, get that side draft, and our dear friend Netcode, you know how that can be, Greg.
Yeah, we're not going to bring that word up until, you know, she rears her ugly head. But, yeah, Dean Brummett right on the bumper of this 53 machine. He's feeling really fast out there. Zachary Taylor taking a peek to the inside of Dean Brummett. We're going to see which lane becomes the preferred lane tonight for these Cup Series drivers. And, you know, the Xfinity and trucks really use that bottom line. But I feel like we're seeing a lot more guys in this Cup Series get up high and use that high lane. We see Zachary Taylor in the middle. So they're making it work early on, even with these cold tires.
Oh, main thing is tire management. That high side will get you positions because a lot of people are going to like to try and stay low. But, hey, risk versus reward. If you can get up there and fall in line, save your tires, maybe catch a caution, I mean, that's nothing but track position gain.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that 25 just kind of make the play a patient game. Excuse me, doubling up my words a little bit there. But yeah,
we all have been there.
I think he's going to just sit back and just see what happens and try to save the tires as much as he can. You know, he was a little aggressive there at the start, but as they heat up, that wear will start to impact that 25 machine. So yeah, the new team, Next Level Motorsports, has 4 out of the top 6. You see Latham and Reedy exchanging positions back and forth back there. But yeah, as of it right now, it's 4 out of the top 6 for this new team. So off to a great start for these guys.
That is no surprise with the talent on that roster. I'll tell you, those guys know how to save their tires. They know how to be patient, and they know how to be aggressive. So wait till about halfway. We'll see where they're at.
Well, you and Landon Lacey had quite a nice battle out there in the Xfinity Series race on Thursday. What did you learn from that? Well, it was 24 at the time, but now running into 53. What did you learn from Lacey? What line is he running? When is he going to decide to step it up to that high line?
So the Xfinity car, we were really taking it down low, kind of just rolling out of the throttle and being very, very patient to get back in it, which is exactly kind of what I'm seeing Lacey do here. He throttles out, he uses all of that track and makes sure he's not stepping out on that right rear, making sure the car is not getting loose. I believe they're fighting a little bit more tighter conditions, so we'll see how the long run is for him in about 20 laps.
Well, 1st through 8th, all single file, but the action definitely heating up from 9th on back. You see it 3 wide, fanning out big time here. Scott Kalal in a battle with Seth Berger as Kyle Spees trying to go behind his teammate here to get by that 77, really utilizing the speed that can be found on that high side. And we're 3 wide right now with Byron McDonald down low. David Duke right in the middle of this. They're going to have to be careful as they exit here. And they do a great job of holding it steady. And we got quite a few battles all over the track here, Ted.
Scott Kalal pancaked that wall out of 2. That is going to hurt that car tremendously down the straights and turning into the corner. It is going to be tight all race. Just a little scuff. Hopefully it doesn't hurt him too bad.
Well, his teammate Kyle Spees looking to the inside right now, hoping to use that momentum, and Red Racing starting to make a few moves. Byron McDonald up there running in the 15th position, so a great run by him tonight. Like you mentioned, you can't miss that car out there on track. You also can't miss Brian O'Shell, who's just behind him in that Pit Viper car. That kind of looks very similar to his car. That's John Honeycutt running a Miami Vice car. That's a nice looking car.
That is pretty
ask my producer Sean if we could get a nice close-up of that. That is a sick looking car out there.
She is a beaut for whoever painted that. I mean, if he did it himself, props there. It went in Miami.
He must have been picking up on Brandon and I's vibes that we were rocking on Wednesday. We were in a big Miami mood when we started off the Healthcare Billing Incorporated pre-race show. It's definitely fun, man, when you're racing down here at the beach. So we had to go out there and have some fun with it. But he's in a nice little battle right now with some heavy contenders. Kyle Benson and Scott Healy just behind him. Austin Reedy also in a beautiful looking blue and pink car as well. So quite a few blue and pink cars. Oh, excuse me, that's Timothy Latham in the blue and pink. But, Austin Reedy got quite the nice car himself. A little bit of a different paint scheme this week.
Oh, he really does. I love that yellow font, especially when it can be neon. It just sticks out. You can see it. The fans, you're sitting in the stands, you see it on the backstretch. It's honestly a beautiful piece. Now, what I noticed on my list is I am seeing Joshua Siegfried drop 17 positions from the restart, and we were about 10 laps in. I'm not sure if he's going into full conservation mode here or not. I believe he might have had a problem, but that is quite a few spots to drop.
Yeah, after starting 4th, falling outside the top 20, yeah, you're not kidding. That is quite a significant drop. Doesn't look like too much damage on the car, so, we're going to have to really try and pay attention to see if he's fighting loose conditions or what. But, yeah, not the start that the 60 car wanted tonight. Yeah, absolutely no damage on that Busch Light number 60 machine, so maybe just really just biding his time, feeling out how this race goes as well as just feeling out his competitors, as he is not a normal competitor here in the Cup Series. So maybe just being a little respectful to these guys at the moment. You got a long way to go with 118 laps left in this race.
These guys are using all of this track 12 laps in. It's really impressive to see. I didn't know how it would be with the fixed set. Usually, you find that line, everybody files in, but they're still getting after it here. I see a couple people riding that white. many people actually using that first seam there to kind of turn the car, get it to rotate and jump out of the corner, get on the throttle, and make a nice run down the straights.
Yeah, it's really weird how that first seam you see there at the bottom of the track can make the car rotate a little bit better. So surprised to see not as many people using it tonight in the Cup Series as we saw. That was pretty much the predominant line that we used on Thursday for the Xfinity cars. Granted, there's less downforce, so we need as much grip to get through these turns as possible. But yeah, these guys are really using all of the track tonight in the Cup Series, which is exactly what I wanted to see. It's really promoting great racing, and we'll see how it really unfolds as they get towards the end of this green flag run, and see who really starts to move up and fall back.
So now with being in these cars, having a little bit of experience, I can tell you what these drivers are going to start experiencing right now. So you're about 14 laps into the run. You're going to start feeling that dirty air. There's a little bit of game with cat and mouse. You see the timing ticker jumping up and down, up and down. That's drivers that know what they're doing. They're going to sit there and make you chase them. They want you to burn up their stuff so that way they can kind of just take off within 30 to 40 laps there.
Well, let's just give a little bit of a shout out to one of our big movers of the race so far. Seth Berger's up 12 spots, sitting there in 9th, qualified 21st. Very unlike him to qualify outside the top 20, but really finding the speed in that 77 machine for Tank Racing. And like I mentioned, he's always got some fans out there in the chat, so I'm sure they are loving seeing that name move up the leaderboards. But right now, man on the mission is that 25 car. I mentioned that he is going to bide his time, and that's exactly what he did as he's making the move on James Holter now, moving back up to 3rd. Gabriel Ellison just behind him, thinking about making the move on his new teammate, James Holter. But Dean Brummett doing a great job following the tracks of that 14, really finding the speed out there.
That's a very strong top 5, and it's going to be very hard to break it unless you got some pit strategy coming up. Hopefully green flag stops here, not an ill-time caution, or even if people do get the ill-time caution. We saw that Thursday night, and that could change the race for you as a driver. Just perfect spot, perfect timing. See if it comes down to that.
You mentioned that we saw that on Thursday night. We also saw it on Wednesday night, too, giving Jonathan Byer the track position that he needed. It's kind of crazy to think about how this week has been, unfolding, as, we got 2 timely cautions for, 2 people that really needed it to happen when they were on pit road, and they got it, ultimately giving Jonathan Byer that track position, as well as Nick Owen out there in front. Both guys came home with the win in the Cup, the Xfinity and the Truck Series on Wednesday, Thursday. So could we possibly see the same thing tonight? I am not writing it off as of yet.
I think we just might. I mean, these cars look a little bit more stable than the Xfinity car and trucks. I mean, the trucks, they could really run anywhere. These cars, you already see it right now. Everybody's gravitating towards the top. About that 15-lap segment is where you're seeing that, because they're just getting a little too tight to run that bottom. They can kind of roll and get the run on the top down the straights. You're going to have Dean Brummett right there. I mean, he's proven us wrong now. He's diving down to the bottom trying to make up everything that he can.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think it's more of a power move to make it on the inside. You're getting that big run out of the turns when you're running that high line, but there is that little bit of grip down there, like I mentioned, running that seam, and that's exactly what Dean Brummett's found. He's going to try and slide up in front of Zachary Taylor right here. Does it perfectly, and he's got that second place position now. Zachary Taylor going to give him a little bit of a shove as he had the momentum off of turn 2, but there you go. Dean Brummett has that second place position in hand. We'll see if he has what it takes to run down Landon Lacey, who led quite a lot of laps on the Xfinity Series side on Thursday, led close to 50, but not coming home with the win. So we'll see if Dean Brummett can run him down and get some extra points under his belt with the lead lap point bonus. And we're about halfway through this run now, so this is really when these guys are going to start to fall off with that tire wear.
Oh, you're seeing how hard these guys are battling. So why they are battling so hard, as much as they don't want to, you saw what happened to Zachary Taylor. He gave up 1 spot, lost 2. He almost even lost 3 there. I mean, it's just these cars are so crucial to how the air works and the long runs that you guys can make down the straights. You have to keep up those RPMs. So when people are sitting there diving, like you see them looking low on Dean and the 42 going high, they were all in it because they know that you lose that 1 spot, you're losing multiple.
Holter using every inch of the track. You saw how high he was in turns 1 and 2, but you see that speed that he gains down the straightaway. Going to go back down to the bottom here, 3 and 4. But as these guys are battling, Landon Lacey is just slowly pulling away up to a 1 1/4 second lead on second place. But, there are a few guys back here who seem to be pretty quick, just trying to get that track position. Like you mentioned, Austin Reedy and Dalton Tucker, as well as Seth Berger, both making really good moves to get up here to battle with these guys. We're 3 wide through 1 and 2. Gabriel Ellison to the inside of Zach Taylor. Austin Reedy to the high side. So they're using every bit of the track to try and get by each car that they can. Dalton Tucker going to try and make a move on his former teammate Gabriel Ellison now. So we got quite the battle here between, 4th through 7th, maybe 8th place.
I'm just getting informed here that Brian O'Shell never gritted up, actually. He was there for practice, everything like that, running pretty decent, and we're not sure where he is on the track right now. That could be a few points lost there.
Yeah, really unfortunate for one of our independent drivers. We'll have to really try and find out exactly what happened there. But that's going to really set him behind the 8 ball. Not sure if he's out there on the track yet or not, but just want to give a shout out to Scott Healy, up 14 positions, qualified 26th. He's up to 12th. One of those really fast cars out there on the track, running as an independent this week and doing a great job out there all by himself. And that very special car that he loves running for one of his family members that he lost, and he wants to just make him proud and get that car up front and in victory lane, man. Scott is one of the best guys in this league. He's our Cup Series champion from last season, sitting there in 3rd in the points, has had a great run so far, but yet to get that first win, I know he wants to get that done.
Oh, he's very hungry, and you know what, anytime we lose any family members here at SR, and I know a lot of the guys are very competitive on the track, but it's still hard when you lose somebody at home, and I know we're all big family here, so we're definitely feeling for you, Scott, and if you ever need anything, we're here for you, buddy.
Absolutely. So, yeah, he's trying to run down Kyle Spees. We'll keep an eye on that. Austin Reedy getting really high right there, getting so close to that wall. I don't think he hit it, as I didn't hear the contact from the car hitting the wall, but he about got as close as he could possibly get. But it's definitely paying off as he is starting to move up in the standings, working really hard on passing Gabriel Ellison. But now he's got Seth Berger to his inside, also doing a great job on making up these positions. Seth Berger is going to take over 6th. Dalton Tucker taking a look to the inside of Austin Reedy right now. Really nice battle here as they head through 1 and 2. They might exit 3 wide going down the backstretch.
Oh, when you're stuck on that bottom this late in the run, that is a very helpless feeling. You know you have to try and do everything you can to try and pass the guy cleanly. That right front, it is very hard to find the mechanical grip to get going, especially when you're getting aero tight. I noticed that we are coming up on green flag pit stops here, probably in about 15 laps, Greg. I think you're going to see some shuffling throughout the field.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier, we're about 40 lap fuel runs here, 130 lap race, so they're going to have to stop 3 times. They could definitely short pit it if they want to. There is that room down, at the end there to maybe short pit if you wanted. So we'll have to see who that first one to come down pit road is. It's really going to be a huge advantage to them at first, as they're going to make up a lot of time on these leaders. But then again, you do lose that time in the long run with the rest of the field having fresh tires. But I've seen it pay dividends for many people before. I expect to see, like you said, I wouldn't be surprised within 5 laps if we see people coming down pit road.
Oh, no doubt. Byron McDonald in the wall here in the 3. Oh, it's scuffing up that beautiful paint scheme.
Yeah, he is as close as he can get. Still able to hold the position over Kyle Benson out there. Really surprised to see this 10 struggling here tonight, as he's run really solid all season long in that 10 machine for Murray Smith Road Racing, or excuse me, Reedy Murray Smith Road Racing. I'm going to have to get that one down. It is the longest name that we have here on the series. But yeah, having a great run so far tonight for Byron McDonald's. Going to have to work to get that damage fixed under caution. You don't want to give up too much time under green. But back up front here, we still got this battle between Seth Berger and Austin Reedy here. He's trying his hardest to get by that 1 machine, as the 1 is working on Zach Taylor as the 14 starts to fall through the field.
Oh, this man's on a mission. He has been working this for at least 7 laps coming up through the field like he has with all those tires, I'm really impressed that he is just taking it to these guys.
Yeah, he's trying his hardest, but like you mentioned, really hard to do what he's trying to do on the inside line, leaving himself vulnerable to the 77 getting a big run on him here. But there you have it. I believe he just slid up in front of the 14. That's going to make the 14 cross down and really send it into 3. He's going to try and slide up here. It's not going to work as the 1 is there. The 1 is going to have huge momentum off of 4 here. He's going to have the position over Zachary Taylor, and Seth Berger is going to be following just behind him.
Oh, yeah, my pick of that Zachary Taylor, number 14 automobile. I mean, he is dropping back just a little bit. He's trying to stay competitive up there, but it just looks like it's just the opposite end of the schedule. I know he was really loose Thursday, and now I feel like he's fighting a very tight condition. He probably didn't stay at the right front as well as he should have. If he manages top 5, get some new tires, I feel like he'll settle in the second run.
Well, just to go up front, that gap between first and second definitely shrinking. James Holzer's starting to run down his new teammate Landon Lacey under a second between the 53 and the 42. So James Holzer doing a great job of saving his tires. But like we mentioned, we could see Landon Lacey noticed that and maybe come down and short pit to get a little bit of a jump on Holzer. Right now, Gabriel Ellison making a move on the 25 here. 25 has the preferred line. Dean Brummett running that high line, going to get the big momentum down the backstretch. Gabriel's going to fall in line. They're going to switch lines in 3 and 4, and we'll see just how this shuffles out as Dean Brummett going to come out in front. Sorry there, 27 blanking a little bit, but no harm, no foul. So these guys are going to really sort it out. Dean Brummett holding on to that third position for now.
And those guys did just that. They had to, because they are losing first and second place of Lacey and Holzer quickly with that side-by-side battle. They lost about 2/10 of a second, I saw, per lap.
Oh, yeah, that will definitely get you wanting to come down for fresh tires in a hurry. But right now, this is when I said that pit window would open, running on lap 33 right now. Yet to see anybody come down pit road, but I know that people are thinking about it right now. Kyle Spees battling hard with Timothy Latham there in the 5 machine. Kyle up to 11th after starting 15, so nice gain by him, up 4 spots. But just ahead of him is that Scott Healy machine cracking into the top 10. He's up 16 positions on the night, and we're only about a quarter of the way through this race, trying to pick up 9th now over Reese Schaefer, and then he's got Dalton Tucker just in front of him. So he, I think, has the strongest car on the long runs right now. If we see him get up to the front, he could be a contender tonight.
All these boys just know how important every position is. That's why you're still seeing battling throughout the field, even before pit stops. They want to get in there, they want to cycle out, and they want to try to beat that guy off that access road. That access road is not easy for many people. You can make or break your race sometimes with that access road.
I believe we have someone coming down pit road right now. Can't really tell who it is. Craig Lautenslager is going to be that first car to make his pit stop on the night. So I was within 2 laps. I'm going to count that as a win, but I knew that we would see someone undercutting this pit stop tonight. And there you have it. We'll see just how long it takes for the rest to follow.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing the game now. He wants those fresh tires, and I mean, he can catch caution, man. Right after everything cycles out, he'll be good to go.
Oh, yeah. He's going to make up a lot of time running these leaders. Right now, they're running about our leader, Landon Lacey, last lap ran a 35.0. To give you some comparison, his best lap on the night is a 33.0. So they're losing 2 seconds over the course of the run. So Craig can really make up some significant time if no one continues to come down yet. And he gets that perfectly timed caution like we mentioned. It will pay huge dividends for his race tonight. But yeah, no one else coming down pit road just yet, as we have a lot of battles. You see back there Austin Reedy and Zach Taylor really tight coming out of 2 here. They keep it clean, but man, this is some great racing that we are seeing between some of these drivers. Brummett and Ellison up there battling, Reedy and Taylor back here battling, as well as Berger battling with Scott Healy, who is just on a mission. Dalton Tucker side by side with Reese Schaefer. What are you paying attention to out there, Ted?
Oh man, I just looked back to Zach Taylor right when you were talking it on that onboard, and he was sawing that wheel pretty hard. So that's telling me he's trying to get that front end to rotate as much as he can without losing that rear end. because he was stuck on the bottom for so long. These guys really have to fight that tight condition, and they try to manage it with sawing the wheel, but that is just absolutely going to kill your tires here.
Scott Healy looking to pick up another position off of Seth Berger. Scott Healy making it happen there on the inside. Seth's going to get a nice run off that high line, but I think Scott Healy is going to pick up this position as well as the sixth place position. Once he gets clear of Seth Berger, he's going to be really working on the 14 because that 64 car is handling like a beauty on these long runs. We got another one, Kyle Johnson, coming down pit road right now. So I think we are going to start to see that pit road really heat up here within the next couple of laps. Quite surprised it has already.
Oh, yeah, they're ready. They're getting ready for some new rubber, I'll tell you that. These guys are going to come out flying. You're going to see the major difference in tires here. As long as the leader, I think Lacey is still out there commanding this lead. He is usually pretty smart about making the choice when to come in. Let's just hope he doesn't catch the caution at the wrong time.
Well, there you saw Zach Taylor, who was running sixth, decided to come down. Not surprised to see him do that as he was starting to fall through the field a little bit. And like you mentioned, he was sawing on the wheel, so fighting tight conditions. Definitely wanting to get some fresh rubber on that 14 machine, but I have to imagine we will start to see some more of these leaders head down pit road and get that fresh rubber that is so desired right now, because a lot of these guys fighting ill-handling cars. 78 David Duke coming down now.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of battles still happening right before pit stops here. They're trying to get every inch they can, Greg. I also noticed that I was looking at the scoring monitor here, and Nicholas Gowan was actually up 14 spots even before pit stops was coming there, and he was your Xfinity winner Thursday night. He might be one to watch here later on.
Yeah, and in the Xfinity Series race, he started pretty far back in the pack, so he definitely knows how to get these passes done and do it on a long run, as we had a couple of nice long runs in the Xfinity Series race on Thursday. So this race is definitely falling into his hands the way he wanted it to. So we'll definitely pay attention to when he makes that first stop and how he shuffles out. We got another one coming down pit road. Looked like a striker car there. Yeah, Joe Ruggles as well as Chad Wampler coming down pit road this time. So two more cars making that stop, and we'll see just when these leaders decide to come down. Landon Lacey's still staying out there, but he's going to have a whole lot of James Holzer on his bumper here in a second.
Yeah, James knows what he's doing. He's slowly reeling him in. We've seen the Landon Lacey show before, though. He is very good at saving his tires. Like I said earlier, that cat and mouse game, I feel like he was letting him reel in, but that right front might be wearing out a little too much now.
So we will see just when Landon wants to get that fresh rubber. If I saw James Holzer bearing down on me, I would probably try and come in right now to get an extra lap on him with fresh tires, but that is not the case. He is going to have a whole lot of that 40. Look how fast. Okay, these guys were just pitting, but I'm just saying.
Oh, Dean Brummett getting a little loose there.
Yeah, he definitely got on there clean, though. Oh, yeah, that whole 4th through like 9th just came down pit road together. And a few cars further on back in the pack, Kyle Benson, Timothy Latham also joining them down pit road. So these leaders are going to definitely take note of that and possibly come down this time. We will see. It doesn't look like Landon Lacey is setting himself up to come down. As I say that, he is.
Oh, he's coming in. He's coming in. Holzer is staying out, it's looking like.
Yep,
Holzer did come in. Yeah. Oh, locks up the tires a little bit there.
It is one of the hardest pit roads to get onto. It looks easy, and it's kind of easy, but it's very loose, right, Ted?
Oh, it gets very tight. Right with that transition from the banking, it's like there's almost no grip. It's like there is Miami sand down on that track. And you could lock them up very, very easy.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there is some Miami sand down there. I don't know. But right now, Nick Gowan out in front in that beautiful black and red 88 machine. He's going to bring it down pit road this time, trying to double up on the week at Miami. He won, like we said, on Thursday in the Xfinity Series right now, getting some laps led out there in that beautiful 88 machine. Byron McDonald also going to come down this time. That's going to cycle out to Jordan Sailors being our leader. If he decides to stay out there in the 55 Flavor Bomb machine, he's going to come down pit road this time as well. So I have to imagine that these guys really stretched it as far as they could go. And, that's not a bad strategy. The potential to two-stop it is there. I didn't think that these Cup cars had that fuel window a little bit more than the Xfinity Series cars. But, yeah, they only have to go and pit one more time. But right now, Zach Taylor is going to cycle out to the lead in that 14 machine.
Zach Taylor being up on that high side, I'm questioning it on new tires. I think he's pushing it a little too hard right now. I think Lacey and Holter will be up there in no time.
Well, right now, they're going to have to work to get back up there. You see Lacey closing the gap quickly, though. If you watch the delta between the 14 and the 53, he was 1.2 seconds behind before that last turn, down to 0.8 of a second. So, yeah, the 53 is coming about, he's got 5-lap fresher tires as well. So that is a big difference between these two cars. I'm really worried that Zach Taylor will fall back quite a bit once these guys start to catch him and he gets into that dirty air.
How about David Duke in that 78 in the top 5? That is just very refreshing for him to see, get a good green flag run, and you see him up there in that top 5. I mean, that guy, he knows how to save his stuff. Like I said prior, he ran into a lot of trouble. So it's nice to see him shine the night in Miami.
Well, yeah, he pitted a significant amount earlier than these other guys as well, but yeah, gets him to track position, so we'll see if he can hang on to it. It'd be great to see him come home with a top 5, but right now, look how easy it is for this 53 to just go right on by the 14 machine here, and that 14 has great speed within that car, but those tires are a lot older than the 53. We're going to see just how easy it is for James Holter to get by him now that he is back there in the dirty air behind Landon Lacey. James Holzer going to be picking up second here, probably heading into the next turn.
This is probably one of the worst things unless he can make this pass really quickly, which it looks like he is going to do. He didn't want to waste his tires behind Zach Taylor that is on older tires. He wants to get out there and try to chase down Lacey a little bit, manage his gap, and make sure he can sit there for the end. Because Lacey knows exactly what he's doing up front there. These guys are top 2 pretty much all race. They've got everything planned out, I believe.
Yeah, just a little bit of a cat and mouse, I'm sure, as well. James Holter not wanting Landon Lacey to get too far ahead, and that way James Holter can kind of mind the gap and manage those tires. We saw him close in on the 53 at the end of the last run. I have to imagine we will see possibly the same thing if Landon Lacey doesn't save those tires a little bit better, but Nick Gowen falling back to 19th now after pitting from first place during that green flag cycle of pit stops. But for Nick Gowen, he is going to have the freshest tires out there on the track. So Nick Gowen is going to be going towards the front, I imagine, here shortly as he makes a move there on Lautenschlager, who was the first car to pit on that cycle of green flag pit stops. Now he's got Timothy Latham, and I believe that's Max Service just in front of him as well. Going to be taking the low side here following Latham down on the bottom of 1 and 2. Getting a good run on that 81 there. Max Service. We'll see if he can get by both of these cars.
Lautenschlager has his hands full. I did see him get into the wall right when you were talking there. He tank slapped that right rear. We'll see how it holds out for him. It doesn't look too bad. A little crinkle damage on the bumper, but I think he'll be all right. But he's definitely fighting a very tight condition.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the oldest tires out there on track by about 4 laps. Just behind him is probably going to be Zachary Taylor with about 14-lap old tires, and we see how he's struggling with the handling on his car already as well, losing a lot of time to the leaders. To give you some comparison, Landon Lacey, our leader, ran a 33.5 the last lap. Taylor running a 34.2. So that is a big gap in time difference each lap, 0.7 of a second. So definitely losing track of the leaders. Those cars just behind Taylor are going to be picking up that scent here shortly, as we got a nice battle between Scott Healy and Dean Brummett. Scott Healy is up to 4th place. Started 26th. Yeah, picked up 22.
That is a very hard thing to do with these Cup cars, with as tight as they could be and that dirty air. So I'm very impressed to see that.
Hey, he's not the Cup Series champion for no reason. He can get it done out there, and I expect to see him as this race goes on. He's got a little bit of a gap behind or back to the leader, sitting 4.5 seconds back. But man, just imagine, he's passed 22 cars during that trek up to the front. If he can get past these next 2 cars, which I imagine he will get by Zachary Taylor pretty easily, as he's got 4-lap newer tires than that 14. He could be another contender up here battling with Lacey and Holzer.
Greg, I just want to say there has been 0 broadcaster curses so far. I know we have to knock on wood, but Sean is not up here. And we have not seen the broadcast curse yet. So I'm hoping all these drivers can finish this out clean, get some good green flag racing. That way we can rub it into Sean a little bit.
You just had to say it. You had to say it. You couldn't resist. But no, we've had some great racing out here as they
low-hanging fruit. It was low-hanging fruit, boys. We had to take it.
they must have heard you because the action is ramping up back here between Berger, Reedy, and Ellison as they're making a move on Jordan Sailors, who's a little bit back in the pack. Just a lap down now as he stayed out there longer than anybody. Lost a lot of track position. But, yeah, Seth Berger making a move on him. But, yeah, side-by-side, Gabriel Ellison, Austin Reedy heading into turn 1. Dalton Tucker sitting just back there as well, waiting for these guys to see how it works out. Scott Healy picking up that 3rd place position from Zachary Taylor, moving on up in the 64 machine. Let's pay close attention and see if he can close that 4-second gap between him and James Holzer.
I'm very surprised he's holding steady even on a little bit older tires there. Yeah, he's still running that top side too. It uses a little bit more of your tires, but the way they're running, I'm thinking caution soon. These guys are so racy. They're using the top side, the bottom side. They're finding every little inch of grip that they can.
You're really testing the waters with this broadcaster's curse, aren't you?
No, we love green flag racing here, Greg. I love pit stops. No real-time cautions. I don't wish that on anybody. So this is very refreshing to see. A very racy track.
I'm sure that there are a few drivers out there that wouldn't mind seeing a yellow right now. But this is exactly what I expected to see. You asked me at the beginning of the show what I thought was going to happen. And, you know, this track really bodes green flag racing, and that's what we're seeing here. 58 laps green so far, just 72 laps to go. And if they get to that lap 85 marker, that's when we will see people making that last stop. And see Dalton Tucker get into the wall a little bit there, just behind Austin Reedy. But yeah, this is amazing racing for these Cup guys. Really doing a great job to race hard, but respectfully at the same time. Because just like in the Xfinity Series, these guys are racing with no fast repairs. So as real as it gets as far as that goes, if you get some damage, your day is all but done.
Oh, it is. Any little bit of damage, that hurts your straightaway speed tremendously. Going back up front here, I'm seeing Landon Lacey coming up on some lap traffic here. And it looks like Holzer is catching him. He caught him 0.2 last lap.
Yeah, Lacey moving up to that high side line, trying to run down Raul Meza.
So they're finding the groove here. Lacey is still committing to the bottom of that lap car. I see him probably moving to the top within 5 laps here. Holzer's going to follow in his footsteps, and then probably about another 10 before pit stops. They're going to try and split that track bottom to top. Holzer does not want any dirty air. He wants to be able to pin that nose down and catch Lacey as fast as he can.
And that's one of the unique things about Homestead Miami Speedway that I've learned this week is that there is a time for when you want to run at the bottom of the track and then you move up to the top. And it's about 15 to 20 laps into a run. That's probably what we're going to see Landon Lacey do here within the next couple of laps. 17 laps on his tires so far. Same for James Holzer as they pit it together. And I imagine, like you said, we will see them swapping lanes as you don't want the dirty air. But Landon Lacey going to have the preferred lane as he's up front, taking the bottom here in 3 and 4. But I imagine within the next 2 laps, like you mentioned, we will see him move up to the high side within lap or turns 1 and 2.
So it's looking like, unfortunately, retired from the race, Chad Wampler, Christopher L. Lawrence, and Brian O'Shell never even gridded. So that is 3 people missing out on points tonight, and we know how crucial every point can be. I'm seeing, Zach Deuscher is also out, too. So he is about 2 laps down and considered out. We have 3 cars 1 lap down still competing, so we'll see if they can manage to get that lap back, maybe catch a lucky caution.
Yeah, to have 25 cars on the lead lap after 62 green flag laps, that is a testament to this Cup Series. Great speed out there. Joshua Balliet sitting in 14, checking in on him. See Kyle Benson moving up there to 13, just running behind the 36 of Kyle Speed. So quite the little battle we have here for 12th through 16th right now. Probably one of the best battles that we have on the track. You just see them all fanning out. Benson going up high with Politis just behind him, running that high side. Speeds and Valiant taking the bottom.
Everybody's going to be able to sparkle and shine, mobile detail their car tonight. I feel like there's really not a whole lot of rubbing. There's very tremendous runs that are happening, and everybody is just sliding right in line. It is very nice to see everybody giving that give and take, but racing very competitively. Well,
right here, quite a battle for sixth. Austin Reedy holding on to the position, but Dalton Tucker right on the bumper of that one machine. Gabriel Ellison starting to fall back to eighth now. Surprised to see him falling back. Seth Berger now in the top 5, so we got shuffling all over the place here in this top 10. Right now, they're going 3 wide into 3 and 4. Gabriel Ellison on the bottom. Dalton Tucker and them get real close there. That could have been the old net code rearing its head if we saw Dalton Tucker turn around there, but they were able to keep it straight. That got really close there.
Oh, it was close. Gabriel went to that low line, and he said, nope, I am going right to the top. Way too much for me this early. 65 out of 130. We're just about halfway.
Paying attention to Scott Healy's delta between him and Holzer. Scott Healy not really catching those top 2 cars right now, but steadily holding and pulling away from 4th place Dean Brummett. So has the speed still in the car, but not really the speed to catch our leaders at the moment. But right now, Holzer just sitting a half a second back of Lacey, and I have to imagine that, you know, that lap traffic that you mentioned is going to come into play soon.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that gap from the delta on the map on your screen there. I mean, it's been up and down there for a little bit through 60 to 65, and then it seemed to jump majorly. So we'll see how Scott Healy can manage his gap. I feel like he's going to have to make it up with the pit stop, maybe use that access road, get in better, and get out better.
Yeah, you can see the gap there down on the bottom right of your screen from lap 61 to 66. The gap has expanded about a half a second, so he's losing a little bit of time each lap. That's what those bars are indicating as they stretch out more and more. But still, to move up from 26th to 3rd, Scott Healy is having a fantastic night out there in the 64 machine.
Getting news that Brian O'Shell, he had to tend to his sick child tonight, so we're sorry that you're not here with us, and we hope your kid gets better.
Yeah, that's definitely a reason to not grid up. Family comes first, obviously. But yeah, Brian, we're definitely thinking about you and your child, man. Wish you could be here tonight, but get it ready for next week, and we will see you out there at Nashville. But right here, David Duke up to 11th place where he started. So he cycled out in the pits, came out in 5th. So falling back to 11th right now. It's definitely a risk worth taking, but he's learning everything he can from that move, and he's going to it's going to dictate how early he comes in the pit next time. So we'll pay attention to see when David Duke decides to come down get tires. We're just about 15 laps away from that pit window opening for the last stop of the night. But Dalton Tucker making a move on Gabriel Ellison right there. You saw him picking up 6th place. But that gap between the 2 leaders up front, just down to 0.3 of a second.
Landon Lacey putting on the clinic tonight in an absolutely dominating fashion. He's just racking up points for his team. He just jumped up from the Xfinity Series, so with that all-star roster, they're going to be a very hard one to beat, and everybody's going to have to mind their P's and Q's for every other team out there.
You see it there, the difference in times. It goes back and forth between James Holzer and Landon Lacey. One's faster the one lap, the other's faster the next lap. So they're definitely seeing where each other's running out there on track and using that against the other guy. It's a great battle between these two, but definitely curious to see if that 42 can get up there to battle with Landon. He's trying all he can to get up there and put some air on that spoiler, maybe make him a little loose, but not able to do so as he's still about 3 or 4 car lengths back.
Ooh, we almost have contact here with Nick Goen in the 36 car here. Yeah, Kyle Spees, that was very, very close. And they kind of fan it out now, realizing, hey, pit stops are coming up. Let's keep this thing together.
Yep, he's taking a low side look there in the 88, trying to get by the 36. I think he's going to be able to slide up in front of Kyle right here. We'll see him go up the track, and he has that 13th place position. But, yeah, those fresh tires definitely an advantage for the 88 so far, as he's definitely making that inside line work for him. He's getting some good speed through 3 and 4, rolls the center really nicely. He's going to have the position, slides up in front of the 36, now with the 10 of Kyle Benson in his sights. So Nick Goen is moving up towards the front. We called it out when he pitted. It was one of the last cars to come down, came out about 20th. Now he's moved up 7 positions after that cycle and up to 13th. But Emerson Ardon, we're paying a close attention to him right now in the 57, working on his teammate there in the 81 of Max Service. 2 Tank Racing cars running back-to-back here, 16th, 17th. Emerson's going to take a look to the inside, not going to have the lane, and Max Service is going to get the momentum off of the turn. So we got 3 Tank Racing cars all in a line right there. Joshua Balliot just in front.
That was proof there. The dirty air and clean air is king. So he was looking down. He got pinched a little bit, and you could see him. He had to back out of that throttle. You saw the right side want to cheat up the track a little bit. That dirty air really messes with the front end. I mean, it kind of just sweeps across, and it almost feels like you don't have control of the car. Even letting off the throttle, you got to try and tap it, hit it with the butterfly on the wheel, and it's very rough for these drivers to sit there and try to make a pass on the low side and slide up coming out of the corner, because those guys are getting such a big run that you have to kind of mind that gap.
Yeah, making it look easy. It's Nick Cohen picking up 12th, easily off of the 10 of Kyle Benson. So that 88 is on a roll right now.
He is cruising through that field. I mean, no surprise, like we said, we've mentioned it I think twice before. I mean, he won that Xfinity race. He was in the top 5 all night. He bounced in and out, maybe back to 8th, but like I said, that lucky caution, maybe he can do it again tonight. He doesn't look like it so far with these boys, how strung out they are and the gaps, but we see some very close racing, so anything can happen.
Well, let's go to the back of this little battle right here. The 2 of John Doc Holliday. Want to give him a special shout out, not having the race that he wanted to, obviously, out there in the 26 machine. But he has announced that he will be stepping away after this week for personal reasons. So definitely understandable. But John, we just wanted to mention that we enjoy your company here in SRN. You're always welcome back. And that is one of the best looking cars week in and week out there on track.
That color number really sticks out. That's a beautiful car. So it is a shame to see you stepping away, but we do wish you the best.
Definitely. So back up front, James Holzer closing the gap ever so slightly down to about a quarter of a second and about 2 car lengths back. He has that draft of the 53 down the straightaways. That's going to be a huge advantage. But like you mentioned, in the turns, that's not what he's going to want. So they're going to both run the high line here, see if he can get a little bit more of a run than Landon Lacey here. He's using even more track than the 53, and it's going to pay off here as you see that delta shrink even more down to 0.2 of a second. He is within just about a car length of his teammate there for first. We're going to have a battle here for the lead here in the next couple of laps as that pit window gets ever closer, just about 8 laps away.
So with Holzer here back in the dirty air, he has been so used to that dirty air all race that I want to see how he performs out front if he can make this pass on Landon Lacey. You see Holzer kind of switching the lines, anything like that, but if he does stay behind the 24 or the 53 car, he's rolling out of that throttle, letting the car try to drift down and get that right rear gripped up to get out of the corner. It's just going to give him such a run. That's really the only time, and it's the only thing you could do to make a pass with that dirty air.
Yeah, you saw them both use 2 different lanes there in 1 and 2. James going to run a little bit of a lane up here, running at the top of that top or the first seam. And it's going to pay off again here as he's going to close the gap going down the backstretch, going to get within about 15 hundredths of a second. That delta bar just shrinking. Holtz are going to go down the bottom this time, going to get right beside the 53, force him to really get a good run off the high side, but Landon's going to get a big run down this backstretch unless James Holzer can get a little bit of a side draft. Doesn't get it this time. Falls back to a 2/10 gap. This is a great battle for the lead right here. Both guys really running respectfully and clean here, but this is what we wanted to see with the multi-grooves here at Homestead Miami Speedway. This is the type of racing that we wanted to see for the lead.
Oh, it's a battle of attrition for sure. I honestly believe it's going to come down to who can get on and off pit road as quick as they can.
Yeah, that's kind of... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was looking at my notes there. Sorry about that. but you can see them like Holzer is trying everything he can to roll that right front up and across out of the corner because Lacey's cutting that corner a little sharp, so he's using a lot more of that right front, and I think Holzer is taking note of that and seeing as Landon Lacey almost got into the turn 4 wall, you can see Holzer's being a little bit more patient through the corners.
Right there, let's go Holzer. Connor Cunningham, a James Holzer fan in our chat. Love seeing that. We always love interacting with our people in the chat, so definitely if you guys have a message, let us know. But yeah, James Holzer with a fan out there in the chat, going to be cheering him on. We got our first yellow of the night on lap 81. Nick going up in smoke there.
Winner. Yeah, that's love to see what happened here. It looks like he might have saved a little bit of the car. It might be some right front damage is what it's looking like, but we'll have to go back to the rec replay and see what happened here.
Yeah, this late in a run, I have to imagine there was some contact involved, but man, he was on a mission there, moving up to the front. But let's go ahead and check our Beer Street Journal rec replay. As always, please drink responsibly. And as you see it there, going 3 wide into turn 1, Jordan Sailors to his outside, David Duke to his inside, and oh wow, Sailors got into the wall and just had to really peel the car off the wall and just got into the 88 of going. So really unfortunate for him as he was having a fantastic run up to the front.
That is very, very unfortunate. I think Sailor, yeah, he just gets right into the wall. I think he saw that 88 car down low and kind of said spotter said car low, and I think it scared him a little bit, and he tried to jump out as much as he could, and he overcorrected, came right back down, and essentially Going was collected.
Yeah, Going really needed a great run tonight as he is sitting, like we said, outside of our top 15, one of our best contenders last year. He got multiple wins in the Xfinity Series as we see Landon Lacey and the rest of the field coming down pit road this time. But yeah, Going had a great run in the Xfinity Series to end last year. Used a lot of momentum to come into this Cup Series, but yet to find. Oh, and Landon Lacey overshoots his stall. That is going to be huge for James Holzer. I imagine we're going to see this 42 get out here first.
I'll tell you what, that first pit stall is an advantage, though. We'll see if he pops that clutch and can get to it. But no, it is going to be James Holzer taking that lead for the first time tonight.
Man, oh man. That is not what Landon Lacey wanted to have happen there. Overshooting his pit stall by just a few inches, and that is the worst feeling in the world, man.
Lacey might be able to take advantage of this outside, though. I mean, the track ripped up a little bit. We'll see, because sometimes you get a little loose on the bottom on fresh tires there. So, depending on what lane Holzer decides here, we might see Landon Lacey battle it out for that top spot again.
Oh, Landon Lacey is not going anywhere. This is going to be a great battle for the lead. But yeah, we're going to probably hear some people clutching this car to save some fuel. Just outside that fuel window, we saw people stretch it to about 46 laps was the longest we saw someone stretch it to. And we're just outside that at 47 laps, so these guys are going to have to do some saving. I imagine we will see just that as you see these cars teeter back and forth one another, trying to keep up with the field, but also just shutting the car off any chance they can get.
So we had ourselves an 82-lap run. That was very nice to see in the Cup Series here. Track's been very, very racy, top to bottom. What do you think? Who do you think's going to take this? Yeah, I mean, you still liking your pick, or do you want to take another one?
Well, not to take anything away from Reese Schaefer, but he just hasn't had that speed that these guys up front do have. So if you're going to indulge me here and let me change my pick, I mean, it's hard to not pick these two up front, but I just really feel like Scott Healy has what it takes to get it done here tonight. Running as an independent in that 64 machine, he's shown that he has the speed. He's shown that he can pass the cars. He started 26. He's up to 4th place. I mean, he's got the same speed as these leaders as far as best lap goes. I don't see why he can't get it done.
Oh, Scott Healy has been the one that has impressed me majorly tonight, along with Seth Berger. Seth Berger moving up that many spots throughout a race at Homestead, Miami is not an easy feat. As long as he keeps that car clean, I think he's probably got a top 3 there. The top 2 are going to be a stretch to catch, but hey, these restarts are wild. We know anything can happen.
Yeah, and I imagine that these two up front are going to be battling each other really hard. So who's to say that, they don't potentially get into one another? The battle could be for the lead behind them with Brummett and Healy and Berger, like you mentioned. So anything is possible now that this field is stacked back up, but those pace car lights are off. We're gridding up 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back through the field, and we are going to be back to racing under green flag conditions here shortly, as they only have 2 turns to go before we see that pace car peel off. But yeah, James Holzer, now your new race leader after Landon Lacey pulls through his pit stall a little bit too far, having to back up that time, killing him and putting him back to second. Luckily, he didn't lose any more positions. But yeah, your top 5 going to be James Holzer, Landon Lacey, Dean Brummett, Scott Healy, and Seth Berger. So this is definitely a battle here between heavyweights. As we see this pace car peel off, it is going to be up to James Holzer to start this race whenever he wants to. I'm sure he's going to let his teammate there, Landon Lacey, know when he's going, and they both get great restarts on the front row.
Oh, they are on the loud pedal. They are going to fight this out of 2. You're going to see James Holzer go low and Landon Lacey take it to the middle groove and actually give it to him. I'm very surprised about this. He's going to settle in. He hasn't been in dirty air all race, so this guy performs trying to stay on the back of that 42.
Yeah, he stays right on the bumper there. Scott Healy going to get third all to himself as Gabriel Ellison and Dean Brummett battle there for 4th. Seth Berger wanting to get in on the mix too. Gabriel Ellison sending it deep on the high side there. Going to get a good run on the 25 to pick up that 4th place position. And we are back under yellow. John Doc Holliday as well as Michael Politis involved back there. So cautions breeding cautions out here, having a great run to start this race. But now back-to-back yellows.
Yeah, we're going to look for it through the field here. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it is very unfortunate to see this. I mean, after that long green flag run, these boys are getting antsy. That is exactly what you're going to see here. They're going to try to take advantage of all those fresh tires when they're all packed together. And here we are on the replay. Doc Holliday. Not seeing anything yet. Oh, he's going to get right into the door. Yeah, Craig Lautenschlager gets right up into the door, and that 2 car, had it saved, but Politis just comes in, and I'd say I'd probably KO'd that car. We'll see if he gets rolling again. As long as there's no smoke, go get that engine. Yeah, he probably has a little bit of engine damage, so go get that fixed in the pit and see what you can do from here on out.
Yeah, taking another look here on the Beer Street Journal Rec replay. We're going to follow on board with Mike Politis here and just know where to go. Did a great job of trying to get out of the way, but unfortunately for him, Doc just fell right in his lane. Definitely laid a haymaker on that 2 car. So we're going to have to see if he gets back out there. But, man, Lautenschlager just got really tight underneath the 2 car, got into the rear quarter panel there, and hearing Byron McDonald possibly got some damage as well. So with the new cause caution rule, I imagine that will send Craig Lautenschlager back to the back of the pack. But let's go on board with Byron McDonald here to see just how badly he gets some of this damage. You'll see Doc Holliday getting... Oh, he's going to get to the wall. Oh, yeah. Gets into the wall.
He went into the death wiggle from iRacing that they give you sometimes, and he made a beautiful dodge there and then just ended up losing the rear end. Tank slapped the wall a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't affect him too much, but like you said, any little bit of damage on this car, it's pretty much the end of your race.
Well, we mentioned earlier before that last caution, or during that last caution rather, that these guys were going to have to stretch the fuel. Throw that out the window now. They should be able to make it just fine. So that is no longer a problem for these guys. They're going to have the fuel to make it to the end, but we'll see who decides to come down pit road this time. A few people running in the back came down, but all the leaders staying out. But yeah, under our second caution of the night after a spin from John Doc Holliday after getting some contact from the 13.
Track position is key here. I mean, you just don't want to give up that clean air. That with everybody up front, that's where the speed's at. You can kind of set your pace, realize who's using what. You can't afford to get stuck on pit road or have a bad pit stop like we saw Landon Lacey. He lost that spot, and now he kind of just had to settle in there. And with 40 to go coming up here, you got to fight for every little inch.
Well, I mentioned that it was a few people in the back that went down the pit, but a notable pit stop here, Austin Reedy deciding to come down pit road. That's going to put him back to 17th place after running in the top 6, top 7 all night. So maybe was worried that they wouldn't make it on fuel. Now he knows he is good to go to the end. So definitely something to pay attention to if they are really running it that close to the line there on their fuel window. But these pace car lights about to go off, and we're going to grid up for another restart here, Ted. Hopefully we don't see another caution. As I said, cautions breeding cautions out here.
We do. I say if these boys get 5 green flag laps and then another caution happens, they got to come down pit road. I firsthand know that with 3-lap order tires, it got very hard to even pass or make runs on the straightaways. So we'll see what the strategies are. I know track position is key, like I said earlier, but after 5 laps, you're putting some wear on that right front. It does make a huge difference.
Just to give you a rundown of your top 5 as they sit here, James Holzer going to be our leader, followed by Landon Lacey there in the 53 machine. Scott Healy going to be running 3rd place in the 64 car. The 27 just to his outside. Gabriel Ellison going to be running 4th, with Dean Brummett there in the 25 machine, having a great run for his sponsors tonight on board that 25 Chevy. So great run by him. He's been up here all night. See if he can get this W if they go green. But right now, we're going to see this pace car get ready to head off the track down pit road. And we're going to see just how good a restart James Holzer gets this time. They battle it down to turn 1 last time on the restart. Landon Lacey, a great jump on the outside. They're going to be side by side heading into 1.
Oh, he's not going to – I don't feel like he's going to give him an inch. I feel like he's going to try to race this, get down on that quarter panel and get out of 2, get that run down to 3, and take it to the bottom.
Right now, he's got a great chance of pulling it off. He's going to get a good run on the outside here, heading down the backstretch. James Holzer going to have to really send it into turns 3. You see Scott Healy sending it in there. Dean Brummett slow. Is there 3 wide wadded up between him, Dalton Tucker, and Seth Berger back there. And we are under yellow again. Byron McDonald back there.
Big wreck out of 4 there. It looks like about 4 cars there. It's looking like everybody else looks like they squeezed on through it, but we are missing a hood and a whole front clip there on Byron McDonald.
Big damage for the 3 car. The 50 of John Honeycutt also involved, able to get the car rolling. And we saw the 55 of Jordan Sailors also involved. But this is going to give us another opportunity to check a Beer Street Journal wreck replay. As always, please drink responsibly. We had 82 green flag laps to start this race, and the last 3 green flag laps have resulted in a caution. So now let's go on board John Honeycutt, see exactly what happened here. Man, looks like he got some contact from the 96 maybe, turning him up into the wall.
It almost looked like a wheel disconnect, or let's see what happened here.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just went straight to the wall. I believe that's a mechanical failure on his sim end. That's just unheard of. I mean, we don't have blown tires in iRacing, but wow, that's a hard
it sure
hit.
Looked like it. That's exactly what it looked like. But yeah, definitely going to see this wheel straighten up, I imagine. It looked like he was still turning it. So not sure exactly what happened there to the 50 machine. I can't imagine that he had enough wear on the tires to even cut the tire down. Not sure what's going on here with John Honeycutt, but let's take another look at it here. Just turns right into the wall, comes down in front of Byron, and gets the 37 of Raul Meza a little contact, as well as the 55 of Jordan Sailors. So a few cars involved here.
That is so unfortunate for everybody involved. I don't believe there's any way that is netcode. I mean, I know netcode has been kind of crazy, but I believe it's the wheel malfunction. I just got to stick with that. I haven't seen that in quite a long time there, Greg.
Well, the battling that Landon Lacey put on James Holzer last time paying off, as they were side by side heading down the whole first lap on that green flag run. And Landon Lacey going to pay dividends here as he gets the lead from his teammate there, James Holzer. So James Holzer going to have his work cut out for him to try and get back by Landon Lacey.
Yeah, I mean, still lurking there. You got Healy, Ellison, and Brummett. They keep all swapping there from 3 to 6th, and then you see Schaefer back there in 7th. Zachary Taylor in 8th. He's still up there in the top 10. You got 9th, Kyle Spees, and 10th is the 57, Emerson Ardon.
Well, I have to imagine we saw some people come down pit road this time. because Dalton Tucker was running within that top 5 pack, no longer up there anymore. So I'm wondering if he came down pit road this time. I see a few cars on pit road. But yeah, it's new top 10 there. Emerson Ardon sneaking in there in the 10th place position. Kyle Spees up to 9th, and Zachary Taylor back up to 8th place, with Schaefer moving up to 7th. So yeah, some shuffling happening in our top 10. These cautions are definitely shaking things up.
Looking back here, I mean, you've got about 35, 36 laps to go here, and I believe whoever pits, tires are going to be king. It's going to be very hard to get through that field, but if these guys if they stay out another caution, I think they're losing this race. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. There's no way those tires can go over about 8 to 10 laps and still be competitive compared to somebody on fresh tires.
Well, a big points day for Next Level Motorsports. They have 3 of the top 4 on the night. Big points day up for Tanks as well. All 5 in the top 12. So the first and second in the standings, both running great out here, showing why they are that high in the standings. We'll see how it shakes out in these final 35 laps. But the lights are off on the pace car after this third caution on the night. These guys are getting gridded up to go back and restart, and these restarts have been wild now. After a great green flag start to this race, we had 82 straight green flag laps, but not the case lately. Ted, what are you thinking for this restart?
Oh, it's go time. I mean, everybody now knows what they got, and with the laps dwindling down, every position is going to matter even more. Every point matters. These guys need to make the runs. They need to throw it in places that they're usually not comfortable with. So it's going to get dicey. Cautions breed cautions, Greg. We all know that. So hopefully they can kind of stick this out, pull the belts tight, and settle in.
Yeah, so we're going to see these guys come off of turn 4. That pace car going to dip back down the pit road, leaving the field in the hands of Landon Lacey. He gets a great restart on his teammate there, James Holzer. James not going to have nearly the same restart Landon had last time to really battle there on the high side, but the 42 going to really try and send it in here on turn 1. Try to get a big run down the backstretch to pull up beside his teammate. He's going to do just that as they come off of turn 2. Puts a little air on that quarter panel, that real spoiler, and they are battling. James Holzer assuming the lead heading into 3.
Yeah, you saw that side draft, Greg. I mean, you tuck right down in, and now he's going to pinch him a little bit. Now I gave him a little bit more room than I thought he would, and he's going to make Landon Lacey use all of that right rear that he can. You see the top 4. I mean, look at them. They're nose to tail. They're ready to go.
Yeah, as long as these guys are battling side by side, it's going to leave the door open for other people. And Seth Berger sees that opportunity as he sends it way up the track and it pulled all the way up there. Get a big run. Gabriel Ellison shuts the door on him, though, killing that momentum. And he's going to get a big push down the backstretch to try to clear Scott Healy. But yeah, these guys finally single out as Landon Lacey clears the 42 of James Holzer. Now he's going to have his hands full with these cars behind him. It is wadded up, a big gaggle of cars here for the top 10.
Going through the field, I'm really seeing people fight this off of turn 4. I mean, it gets so tight all of a sudden. I mean, the car just feels like it sets, and it just takes off towards the wall. So it's really impressive to see these guys battling from top to bottom through the laps that they've ran on these tires.
Seth Berger getting that big run on the high side again, taking a look to the inside of Scott Healy here, trying to pick up 4th, making a move on Gabriel Ellison now on the inside lane, heading into 3 and 4, going to get a good run off of turn 4, heading back to the stripe. Seth Berger trying to take over the top 3 spot here. He sees these leaders battling. He wants to get up here in the mix as well. Side by side, making contact there. And now Scott Healy making contact with Schaefer. They are leaning on one another all over this track.
Wow, Greg, I mean, that is the action that you want to see, but, I mean, how long can they do this for? Honestly, how long can they? These tires do not like that. Any little bit of damage is going to hurt their chances of taking that checkers in first place.
The leader's not really pulling away from the field as we see it. Seth Berger, well, Gabriel Ellison taking over 3rd right now as they're battling, but yeah, Seth Berger's using up that high line to try and get to these leaders and get that clean air. Right now is going to get a big run on Scott Healy heading down the backstretch here. He is trying everything he can to get up here and go for the lead as you see him on the bumper of the 42 machine, using the bottom line in 3 and 4, but definitely taking advantage of that high side, which we see a lot of in 1 and 2.
Oh, I believe you'll see him later in the run here. He's going to want to stay out of that dirty air of the 42 and 53 because it is amped up so much more when 2 cars are in a line like that. And if they spread out even a little bit by a single lane, I mean, it's going to wash right across his nose. He might even lose 3rd place to Scott Healy here. He is under fire.
No, Seth Berger taking a look to the inside of James Holzer now, using that momentum off of 2, going to clear Holzer for the time being. He's going to need to slide up, but I don't think he's going to make it happen here. James Holzer going to get the run out of 4, and now he is going to have the high side as they go side by side down the front stretch. Seth not going to be able to slide up in front of Scott there, and fanning out behind him, Schaefer getting down in front of Gabriel Ellison there, and we got Kyle Spees going around. Max Service involved.
1, 2,
Kyle
3,
Benson,
4,
Zach
5,
Taylor. Also getting Josh Siegfried as well. So some big, heavy hitters there. We saw Zach Taylor running up towards the front and most of this race. Kyle Spees also working his way diligently up to the front as we check out another Beer Street Journal Rec replay. We're going to find out exactly what happened here, but I believe Kyle Spees and Max Service getting into it here and just causing all sorts of chaos behind him.
Yeah, it looked like Max didn't expect Kyle to check up as much as he did for the corner and just got into the back of him and then got ran over a little bit here by Zachary Taylor. It's just very unfortunate. It's that accordion effect that you really don't see too much, but on restarts you're going to see them. They're trying to get everything they can here, Greg. They don't want to be in that dirty air.
No, we're just going to go ahead and take another look at it from a different angle here just to see exactly what happened there. It looked like Kyle Spees was running a lane up from Max Service, so not sure if the 81 washed up a little bit here. No net code. It's just a miscommunication between lanes there. Max Service running up a little higher than he probably should have been and getting some contact with the 36 of Kyle Spees, so definitely putting some damage on that McConey Setup Shop 36 Ford Mustang. He's going to come down pit road this time, try and get that fixed and salvage a best position he possibly can. Everybody coming down pit road this time with just under 30 laps to go in this race. Landon Lacey going to pull it ever so slowly into his pit stall this time after he overshot it last time. That might have given Holzer a little bit of an advantage. Again, we'll see how this race shapes up off pit road.
Bright side's up on Holzer, and he is on the loud pedal. He is going out, and I think he is going to beat... Yep. Seth Berger in 3rd, it's saying. Oh, Scott Healy up to 4th, and Schaefer is now in 4th. So, sorry, our scoring was going in and out there. But Lacey ended up, dropping the 2nd, it's looking like.
Yeah, that's. I was worried when I saw how good Holzer got into his pit stall and how patient Landon Lacey got into the pit stall there. And it's just, Ted, you could speak on this. You can gain so much from just perfecting your pit road performance as far as getting on pit road, getting into your stall, and exiting pit road. That is huge gains for some people and huge losses as well.
Oh, that's what it takes to be great at this cup level. I mean, you got to mind every little piece of the race. You got to get into the pits correctly. You got to make sure you don't speed on pit road, which a lot of people somehow do sometimes, and it's just you're trying to get every little inch you can on your competitors. And then once that jack drops, you got to get out as quick as you can. It really does help your race performance and sometimes a race night because you're going to be missing those wrecks sometimes that could be right in front of you. And with the way the air is, you want to be out front, and seeing Landon Lacey lose that, go in the 2nd, he's going to have his work cut out for him.
Someone else with their work cut out for him. There is a different leader. It's not James Holzer. Craig Lautenschlager, I believe, stayed out there on the track. Do not pay attention to the pylon on the left, the scoring pylon you see there with the leaderboard. Craig Lautenschlager is listed as the race leader right now, staying out there on 12-lap old tires, so about 10 laps older than our leaders, James Holzer and Landon Lacey. So that is going to shake some things up. Now it's correcting itself. You see it there. The 13 is in 1st.
I feel like this is a bad call at a track like Homestead, Miami. I mean, you could try it. You're probably going to bunch up the field. It's going to shake up the standings here, possibly if a big wreck were to happen, because those guys are going to get such a run. So take it away, Greg.
Yeah, it's just, as we try to get these technical difficulties fixed on our producer's end here, we're just going to take a look here on the inside the cut list here. James Holzer, who came out of the pits first, running second now behind Lautenschlager. He is our points leader by 14 points over Reese Schaefer, who's having a good run tonight. Running sixth place, Scott Healy, we've seen him move up through the field. Definitely going to pick up on that standing, as well as he is ahead of Reese Schaefer at the moment. So definitely making ground on him. Gabriel Ellison going to be running fourth on the night. And Dean Brummett. All these guys, all these names we've seen running in the top five. Seth Berger as well, tied with Dean Brummett for fifth. All these guys have been in our top five tonight.
Oh, very good point, Greg. I mean, these are the guys that have been the factor tonight, just like you said. And they're showing it in the standings, and they're showing it right now out on track. So we'll see where they finish. Hopefully we can stay green here. Lights on the pace car are out, so they're going to be coming up to green here shortly.
Yeah, and let's see how well this 13 is able to do on those older tires. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be a little chaotic out here, as he's going to be a little bit slower. These guys are going to be trying to take advantage of that. We're back under green here. Gets a good restart, doesn't spin the tires or anything, as I imagined he wouldn't. The tires are not that old. Gets a good jump on the field. Seth Berger on the outside of James Holzer. This could be the battle for the lead. You see it there. They just blow by him on the inside. Seth Berger going to slide up in front of him. Oh boy, that was tight. But Seth Berger taking over second. Landon Lacey falling back a little bit. He's back there in fourth place right now, as Seth Berger takes a look to the inside. Whoa, sends it in there really deep, able to check up a little bit as he was about to get in the rear quarter panel of the 42, but able to do it cleanly. And right now we have a heck of a battle with a new contender here. Seth Berger in the 77 going to use that Kyle Larson lane up high to get some good momentum, Ted.
Yeah, Craig Wadner back in ninth place now, falling back very quick. We got 3-4 wide action coming on the backstretch here, and they're fanning out. Everybody wants these positions, and they want them now. Yeah,
this race is so close to being over, and you mentioned track position is king here. Seth Berger trying ever so slightly to get in front of the Holzer to slide up, but not able to do so. Loses the momentum big time. You see how much faster James Holzer is with that high line. He's going to be worrying about Landon Lacey here now. Landon taking a look to the inside of 1 and 2. James Holzer, Seth Berger, Gabriel Ellison all on the high side. This is a heck of a battle here shaping up for the lead. James Holzer worrying about where Seth Berger's running, but he better worry about where Landon Lacey is running as well. He has quite the mirror full of capable race cars of winning this race.
This is going to be a little tough for Landon Lacey. I believe Seth Berger has proven that he belongs up there. He wants that checkered flag, and they're going to sort it out here too wide, and Holzer is splitting off from them.
Yeah, that's the thing is, as long as these guys are battling side by side, that's going to give James Holzer the opportunity to maybe put a little bit of gap between these cars. Already put about 2 or 3 car lengths between him and the pack there. But Seth Berger is going to clear Landon Lacey this time. Gabriel Ellison also going to clear Landon Lacey. Scott Healy now getting into the mix. Seems like everybody is going to be, we're back under yellow. Fourth caution of the night here, and Kyle Benson and Joe Ruggles involved back here. So a bit of a rough night for the 10 of Kyle Benson. But man, that was some awesome racing we were seeing there. And just to give you some perspective, Craig Lautenschlager dropped back to 12th place after starting in first there. So showing you what those older tires really did for his night. But let's go ahead and check out our 4th Beer Street Journal Rec Replay. As always, please drink responsibly. So taking a look here, Kyle Benson getting into the 96 a little bit. Not too much damage by any of these cars. They pancake one another there on the side. But man, the 10 car gets into the rear quarter panel of the 96. 96 throwing a little bit of a tiny block down the backstretch.
Yeah, he threw that block, and Benson's like, no, it's go time if you're going to do that. And he tried to send a message, I believe, and, 96 was on the wrong side of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, so some more cars coming down pit road. Quite a few cars, about half the field. James Holzer, Landon Lacey, all of them coming down pit road this time. That's going to leave, I believe, Seth Berger out there on the track. Not exactly sure So you see Holzer get in there cleanly. Both of them get in there really cleanly this time. But Holzer probably going to come off first in this pack, leaving Seth Berger, Emerson Ardon both out there to take over the front row here tonight here in Miami.
Yeah, I believe they didn't like how their tires were feeling right after that 2-wide battle. It was getting very, very chippy up there. They saw Seth Berger also coming up into the mix there, battling for second, almost for first. Holzer's just got to lock it down and see if he can get through this field now with fresh tires there. I mean, the older tires, I don't know if they'll be able to hold it off for as many laps as we have left there.
Yeah, Siegfried on the lead lap as well. Doc Holliday also on the lead lap. So all these guys staying out there. It's going to put the James Holzer and Landon Lacey machines probably about 3 rows back on this restart. So they're going to have their hands full when they do get going here. Looks like Landon Lacey might have beaten James Holzer off of pit road. Trying to figure out exactly if that is the case, but it does look so. Not sure what happened to Holzer there. He had a bit of a slow stop, falling back quite a bit.
On my scoring monitor, it's saying Landon Lacey in 4th, Kyle Johnson in 5th, Dean Brummett in 6th, and James Holzer is actually in 7th.
Okay, I'm seeing what happened now. Landon Lacey and Dean Brummett both took right sides, having 9-second pit stops. So that put them out in front of James Holzer. James Holzer going to have 4 fresh tires. Gabriel Ellison also just behind him with 4 fresh tires. So we are seeing strategy take place here tonight. And that's giving Landon Lacey the track position in front of James Holzer. But we'll see just how much those 2 tires pay off. But right now, I mean, they have their work cut out for them ahead of them. They got 3 cars that they got to get by. That's never an easy thing to do here at Homestead. Seth Berger has shown the speed. If he can just get a little bit of a gap, you know, the race has trended between a green flag run, now showing back-to-back-to-back cautions. This could be a race-winning strategy for Seth Berger, just staying out, hoping he keeps getting cautions.
I think Landon Lacey had the mindset, hey, I see a couple cars staying out. I need to get right sides only and beat James Holzer out. It's the only thing I got to do. I got to control the air. I got to make sure I keep him behind me.
Well, great move on his part to do just that. But I have to imagine that's going to make James Holzer push even more. So let's give you a rundown of this top 10 as it's been shuffled all sorts of up. Seth Berger running in first. Emerson Ardon going to be there in second. Josh Siegfried going to be in third place. Landon Lacey, who has been dominant tonight, running fourth place. Kyle Johnson out there in the 48 machine, going to be fifth. Dean Brummett there in the 25 is going to be sixth place. James Holzer all the way back to seventh after pitting from the lead. Well, he was battling with Seth Berger for the lead. Gabriel Ellison going to be there in eighth place. Austin Reedy going to be running ninth place. And Scott Healy just to his outside going to round out our top 10. So, man, it is shaking up tonight.
Started with 33, Greg, and we are down to 24 on the lead lap with 18 to go. So you could tell there's been a little bit of havoc towards the end of the race. We had a nice long green flag run through 82 laps, and now you're seeing everybody is ready.
Well, we have the pace car lights off. These guys are gridded up to restart here. It's going to be in Seth Berger's hands. Got his teammate to his outside, Emerson Ardon, both tank racing cars, running first and second. The pace car are going to peel off. I have to imagine they're going to be working together on this restart to get a little bit of a jump. But Landon Lacey going to be seeing just how racy he's going to be with those two tires. Seth Berger gets a great jump on the field. Gets already about 2 or 3 car lengths. Going to go straight up to the high line. Actually, he's going to be using the low line this time to get a good run out of the turn. Josh Siegfried taking over second there right in front of Landon Lacey. Landon going to try and make easy work of him to pick up that second place spot and set his sights on that 77. James Holzer going to have to really get going here.
James Holzer is under fire, 3 wide from Gabriel Ellison, and I believe, who is that? I think we've got Austin Reedy there looking inside, and he's got a 48 car in front of him. He has nowhere to... Oh, we are 3 wide again with Scott Healy going into
4 wide. We're 4 wide there for a minute. Right there, you see Kyle Johnson getting bounced around, staying out there on those 2 tires. Actually, he stayed out there on both tires. So that is really showing there as he is having trouble in the pack there. These guys trying everything they can to get by him. But right now, those 2 tires really paying off for Josh Siegfried and Seth Berger. Well, Siegfried stayed out as well. I'm having trouble keeping track of all this, Ted. Staying there's all kinds of strategies.
It's absolutely chaotic. They're out here to win, man. I didn't know if the 2 tires would work, but I mean, you see Landon Lacey going right around Seth Berger. Hard on Seth there.
First car with 4 tires is going to be Dean Brummett sitting there in 4th, so he has got to get going with 17 laps to go. If he wants to catch Landon Lacey, he needs to get by the 60 machine of Josh Siegfried and get by the 77 as well as Seth Berger, but running out of time to do just that. Going to move to the inside of the 60. We're back under yellow. Big wreck on the front stretch. Big wreck on the front stretch.
Oh, yeah, we've got multiple cars involved here on the front stretch. I'll try to sort this out here. It is
Austin Reedy, Reese Schaefer, some heavy hitters here tonight involved. David Duke there.
Oh, it's a graveyard of cars, Greg.
Ooh. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our 6th wreck replay, how this race has changed so much from the start of it. It is getting chippy out there. Emerson Ardon and Austin Reedy getting into it right there on the front stretch and just causing all sorts of damage between other cars out there. We're going to take another look at it here. See the Emerson Ardon machine running in the center lane here. It's going to have a car to his outside as well. And just a little bit of net code right there. She finally reared her ugly head tonight, but definitely turning that one car into the wall, catching all these other cars as well.
Yeah, they were fighting for everything that they could right there. It didn't look like much, but just that little bit of a tap, it's going to send them right across the track, and it's going to be a huge pileup for a lot of these contenders. It's very unfortunate to see that many cars caught up.
Great move by Dalton Tucker to avoid that. He made a hard left down the front stretch to get out of the way of that directly in front of him. But man, like you mentioned, but that is just a graveyard of
he
cars.
wanted no part of that. He was ready, and he's like, I am getting through this.
Yeah, he definitely saw that coming. Great job by Tucker to keep that car going and keep it clean. Now he's going to be in contention to really put a battle together here as he's up to, I believe he was in the top 10 there. Maybe coming down pit road this time. But yeah, Landon Lacey coming down pit road again. It's going to make the leader, Dean Brummett. There's Dalton Tucker just behind him. So, man, this has been a wild race. It started off with 82 green flag laps, Ted, and now we've got so many cautions and so many strategies. I don't even know what to think of it. I can't even tell who's going to win this race at this point, but I can tell you who's going to have a hard time getting up to the front. That's going to be 53 of Landon Lacey, running out of laps to do so. Comes down pit road again. They're going to go back to green. About 8 or 7 laps left.
Craig Lautenschlager, I mean, he got in the wall a few times. I think he was involved in one accident, sitting third.
Let's go ahead and check out what these drivers are paying for sitting in that first place position right now. Dean Brummett would come home with $45 on the night, sitting pretty there. Not too many laps on those green flag tires that he just put on about 9 laps ago. He's got about 3 or 4 laps of pace laps on those tires, so definitely capable of holding on to that lead with the race running out of time. Second place going to be getting $30. Third through fifth getting their money back tonight. So this is what these guys are racing for. This is why we're seeing the intense action that we are seeing out there on the track. But 4 guys staying out there to pick up some positions going to be Dean Brummett, Dalton Tucker, Craig Lautenschlager, and Nicholas Goen making the move to stay out there after getting into a little bit of trouble earlier. He's back up to 4th.
Yeah, that's just amazing to see. I mean, you saw guys with some early problems. They're coming back up. We know that a couple people chose to pit, but with as many laps as we do have to go, I mean, you're looking at 8, 9 to go here, Greg. It's going to get chippy.
Well, to give you a pit road update, 3 guys taking 2 tires. Landon Lacey taking right sides again. Another 9-second pit stop. Gabriel Ellison also going to take 2 that time, as well as James Holzer. So all the next level cars taking 2 tires. Just behind them are going to be Reese Schaefer taking 4. Actually, Reese was involved in that last incident. He is still on pit road. My scoring hasn't updated yet. But yeah, Seth Berger going to be back there in the 8th place position. Siegfried going to be 9th with Scott Healy rounding out the top 10.
I think with the new tires, Landon Lacey is sitting in the catbird seat compared to these cars in front of him. Dean Brummett is going to have to do everything he can. He's going to have to make that car as wide as possible to even have a chance to win this with the amount of laps on his tires.
Landon Lacey, yes, has the fresh tires, but this is a different, recipe for getting up to the front this time. He has two really strong cars that have been running in the top 7, I'll say, most of the night. Dalton Tucker and Dean Brummett have the speed to keep it going and keep it up front and have the experience to get it done here. So these guys know what they're doing. They're going to take the green flag with 8 laps to go. That is not a lot of time to get it done for Landon Lacey. And, he's got Gabriel Ellison to worry about as well, just to his outside, as well as a very fast James Holzer. So these guys are teammates, but still want that win. So they're going to be battling each other just as hard.
Yeah, we'll see how that 13 car performs up there right in front of Lacey, because this could get pretty hairy here. Everybody's they're gonna be fanning out 4 wide. I guarantee it to get that run through there, because you've got James Holzer right on your butt. You've got to move.
Well, I think it's a really smart pick here for Dean Brummett to go to the outside on this restart. Seeing that Landon Lacey is there on the inside lane, doesn't want to give that lane the run heading into turn 1. He's going to definitely pull a lead on that inside line, so that's just giving him a bigger gap back to Landon Lacey. You see him get a big jump on Dalton Tucker. Landon Lacey already looking to the inside of Craig Lautenschlager. Don't mind the 6th caution on the scoring pylon. As you see, Lautenschlager already falling back quickly, but still has some tough cars. And Gabriel Ellison now battling here. Seth Berger using all the... Oh! Him and James Holzer make contact there.
Oh, I did see that. They are rubbing. They know it is time to go. We are closing down here on 7 laps to go. Everybody's speeding towards the bottom, trying to make the runs, set up their passes. Old tires, new tires. We'll see who prevails.
Seeing it yet from that 53 machine. Those 2 tires do not look like they have the speed that they had the last run. Right now, Dean Brummett doing a great job of holding on to that lead in front of Dalton Tucker. Gabriel Ellison, though, definitely looking fast, but Landon Lacey going to look to his inside here. He must have heard me saying that he's going to show me wrong, or prove me wrong, rather. But right now, we are coming back to the stripe to take 6 laps to go. This pylon on the left side is having all sorts of technical difficulties, so we are sorry for that, but trying not to confuse you and keep you updated. So crossing the stripe this time is 6 laps to go.
Dean Brummett looking strong, but Brett Tucker, you cannot count this guy out. He wants that checkered every time it is in his view. He is going to do everything he can to get there. Dean's going to have to make that car as wide as possible.
Well, that's Dalton Tucker, actually, but another great Tucker out there for the SRN series. Seed 73 is going to make a block on the 27 right there, but 27 going to get by Dalton Tucker. Going to try and get the momentum and side draft him down here. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Landon Lacey taking a look to the inside of the 73. Scott Healy getting into the mix as well, 4 wide heading into 1. Dean Brummett, do not look into your mirror right now, buddy, but they are coming. We're 5 laps to go here in this race here in Homestead, Miami. Dean, you are going to have your hands full in a second. This 53, Seth Berger also trying to get in the mix. These guys are battling hard back there.
Dean doing everything he can to take that bottom and give Landon Lacey that dirty air. We'll see if he can hold on here. James Holzer has caught up in way too much traffic. I feel like it may be over for him unless he can catch a caution. Hopefully gain a few spots on pit road, because I do see them hitting in if the caution comes out.
Down to 4 laps to go. Dean Brummett still our leader. Landon Lacey moving up a little bit higher to get that momentum off the turns. He's going to close in. Dean Brummett going to try and break the draft going down the backstretch a little bit, but he needs to get back up there in a hurry as Landon Lacey is there. Landon looking up high again. He's going to get on that loud pedal, really get the momentum off of 4, and maybe look to the inside of Dean Brummett heading down into turn 1. We're down to 3 laps to go. This is the battle for the lead. He's going to take a look to the inside here. Dean Brummett going to stay high, going to have the momentum. Landon Lacey not going to be able to slide up in front, or maybe he will. We'll see. Landon Lacey not going to be able to do it. He does it, though. No. That's going to let everybody else catch up to Landon. Gabriel Ellison going to be right there on their bumper here shortly. Dean Brummett going to try and do it again here, but Landon Lacey probably going to get the position this time, slide up in front of the 25. We'll see just how this works out. Coming to 2 laps to go.
We essentially had 5 cars under a blanket there through turns 3 and 4, and you're now going to see Landon Lacey set sail most likely. Dean is going to do everything he can to set that car up for a second, third place finish, but I don't know if he has the tires for him.
Oh, it's like Scott Healy gets so close to Gabriel Ellison right there. Scott really trying hard to get that top 3 podium finish right there. Dean Brumman not letting Landon get too far away, though, sends it deep into turn 3, coming back to the stripe this time. It will be the white flag lap.
Yeah, and here they go right into turn 1, and it's looking like Landon Lacey is going to go low. Dean's going to commit to the high side. Gabriel Ellison is going to battle out Scott Healy for the 4th, along with Seth Berger coming on that high side.
Yes, Gabriel's going to try and slide up in front of Dean. Now Dean is going to have a battle with Scott Healy here for 3rd. We'll see how it shakes out. Seth Berger wants in on this 3rd place race too. Both of these guys going to send it in there, try to lay off of each other. Whoa, they're so close.
She was close.
Landon Lacey going to be coming back to the stripe this time. This is the checker flag. Landon Lacey is our winner tonight here at Homestead, Miami. With Gabriel Ellison coming home 2nd and Scott Healy coming home 3rd.
Rounding out your top 4 through 8 is Dean Brummett in that 25, Seth Berger in 5th, Dalton Tucker in 6th, James Holter in 7th, and Joshua Siegfried in 8th.
Yeah, so we see all these guys. Man, that was a heck of a last lap there. We tried to do our best to give you guys what was going on the track as our scoring pylon getting a little bit of technical difficulty right there, but our race winner is going to be Landon Lacey in the 53 machine tonight.
That battle from 4th to 6th all night, maybe even 4th to 8th, was just absolutely wild. You saw James Holter, Landon Lacey kind of set the pace. Everybody else was chasing a little bit, but that was good, clean racing up front.
Yeah, well, we're going to see Landon Lacey get to burn it down for his first win of the season here on SRN. Had a lot of opportunities to do so already in the first 5 weeks, but finally able to get it done tonight. So getting it done for his new sponsor, Mid-South Coating. You see James Holzer getting in on the fun as well after coming home in 7th place.
This is going to be the team to watch, I feel like. With that roster that they have, they just made a statement tonight. We'll see how they all like each other going on in the season here, because I'm sure they're going to butt heads here shortly with as competitive as they look tonight and as close as they were.
Race car drivers butt heads? Come on, Ted.
Oh, that's the craziest thing.
I know, but let's go ahead and give you guys a rundown of Vincent Ardon on his roof there. He had a little bit too much fun.
I have never.
All right, let's go ahead and give you guys the rundown of our top 20 drivers tonight. Landon Lacey coming home in 1st. Gabriel Ellison going to be 2nd. Scott Healy going to round out our podium finishers tonight. Dean Brummett, valiant effort on the night. Had the lead with about 3 laps to go. Going to come away with 4th after battling tough. Seth Berger going to round out our top 5.
You have Dalton Tucker in 6th, James Holter in 7th. Very surprised to see James not be able to get around anybody there in the late going, but tires will do that to you, man. Track position and tires was needed. Joshua Siegfried's going to round out your 8th spot. Nick Gowan in 9th. Kyle Johnson will round out the top 10.
Yeah, Kyle Speed is going to be in 11th place. Scott Kalaw coming home in 12th for Rev Racing as well. Joe Ruggles Jr. going to be 13th. Raul Meza going to come home 14th. Timothy Latham going to be 15th.
In the 16th spot, you have Joshua Ballier finishing up. In the 17th, Craig Lautenslager. And the 18th of Austin Reedy.
Yeah, just to give a shout out, Doc Holliday in his last race with SRN going to come home in 19th place. Reese Schaefer rebounding with 20th after that late race caution there. So that is your top 20 drivers tonight. It was a heck of a battle for the Beach Battle 195. But let's go ahead and move on to our post-race interviews now and bring up Scott Healy, who was our 3rd place finisher. Scott, it's our first time talking to you this season, getting your first podium finish on the year. Tell us how you're feeling, bud.
Man, you guys miss me or what? Jeez.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this car was just outstanding tonight. I mean, it was a little tight, but I mean, it's better to be a little bit tight than be a little bit loose and be wrecking loose at the end of the race. So the car felt great. Toyota Camry did its job, so I'm pretty happy with P3.
Yeah, you guys were battling very hard there from about 3rd to 8th place. It was just you guys were constantly switching positions, everything like that. The car did look a little bit tight. Did you have to do anything different in the later running of the race?
Yeah, just back up my corner, and just be consistent as possible. When there's a car on the outside, you just try to make it work as best as you can, and try to make that spot.
Well, Scott, man, it's great seeing you up here. You've talked to me all off season about this car that you're running. Why don't you tell everybody out there what this car really means to you and what it means to you as well, putting up here in the top 3 tonight?
So unfortunately, my grandma passed away last September. So I just wanted to have this car represent her the whole season. She's not. I'm not driving, but she is. So whatever position I finish, she's the one driving. So I'm not doing any work. So this is what the car is really meant about. It means a lot to my family. It means a lot to me. So I just want to bring this car out, do the best I can, and hopefully finish the best I can.
Well, you should be proud with that third place finish, man. Our hearts go out to you two for that. We know that's all tough, but do you have anything else you'd like to say, or anybody you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank you guys. I'd like to thank my sponsors, National Lumber, Milwaukee, Valvoline, and Off Apex Design. They do an amazing job. And shout out to Sean and Tripp and everyone on SRN. So that's what I'd like to thank tonight.
Well, Scott, man, we always love having you up here. Sorry to hear about your grandmother, man, but we're always excited to see you running. You had a heck of a run, passing 23 cars tonight, finishing 3rd. We expect to see more as the week goes on, and we'll see you next week in Nashville, bud.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Well, that was Scott Healy coming home in 3rd place as an independent tonight, getting his first podium finish on the season. Let's go ahead and bring up our runner-up tonight, finishing in the 2nd position for his first run with Next Level Motorsports. Here he is, Gabriel Ellison. It's Greg Olenik and Ted Wreckage up here in the booth. Tell us about your race tonight, bud.
Oh man, that was an interesting one. Those restarts were insane. That first long fuel run, I managed to get up to 3rd, I believe, 3rd or 4th, and then got a bunch of people short pit me by 1 lap, and I went back to 9th, and I'll tell you, it's hard to pass. That 1 lap just wasn't enough with people protecting the top and stuff, so that was kind of frustrating, but, that's just the nature of this track and the setup. But those late restarts, man, that's where, I was pretty fortunate to end up where I did, so...
That's what we were saying up here in the booth, man. We said it was going to come down to tires and restarts, and you did just that. You made it look like a clinic out there. All you guys battling up there within the top 3 to 8th. It was quite a show to see, and we saw that you guys were willing it respectfully, especially in the closing laps there. So that's just an awesome finish for you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I was doing my best to give enough space, but just not too much, because this racing here with this multi-groove stuff, it gets so tight. There were some blocks, some 3 wide, so I'm sure that was a pretty good show.
Well, Gabriel, you're coming home 2nd with your first run with your new team, Next Level Motorsports. You got anybody you want to thank tonight? Any shout-outs, any sponsors out there?
Yeah, just thanks to everybody on the new team there. We worked really well together and got a good finish. Thanks to you guys for putting on this league and everything. And shout out to Sneed Competition Design and Sim Racer Hub. And that's it.
All right, Gabriel. Well, we are used to seeing you run up front, had a good string of top 10s last season. Seems like you're getting that momentum back here in week 5. So we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Nashville. For now, we're going to send you back down to your teammates. Go have fun celebrating, buddy. All right, that was our 2nd place driver there. Gabriel Ellison coming home 2nd, like I said. But now let's get to our race winner tonight. It's going to be Landon Lacey in his first run with Next Level Motorsports. And here he is, Landon, excuse me. It's Greg Olenik and Ted Wreckage up here in the booth. Tell us about your win tonight, bud.
Man, first of all, this track owed me one tonight. After the truck and Xfinity Series race this week and leading all those laps and those late cautions coming out to kind of set me back. It's nice to come out here in the Cup Series and finally get a win this week.
Oh, looked like it in dominating fashion at that. You and James Holzer were fighting nonstop all throughout the race, and even a little bit farther back, you guys had your hands full there in the closing laps. Does it feel a little bit better? Were you able to learn anything from the truck and Xfinity race and apply it? Or I just know with these Cup cars, it's a little bit different, but what did you have to do different?
I mean, really there at the end, it was just strategy. I think the last 2 pit stops I did, I only took right side tires just to loosen up the car for those short runs. And man, those battles at the end were just insane, trying to cut through those guys that just were on a little bit older tires than we were. But we come out of here, with a win, and that's the only thing I could look forward to tonight.
You certainly earned it, man.
Well, before we let you go, is there anybody out there that you would like to give a shout out to, or any sponsors there watching?
Yeah, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Rev Racing and everything they did for me on the Xfinity side. Just felt like I was in a better position points wise to run up in Cup, and so I decided to make that move this week. Also, shout out to Next Level Motorsports for picking me up, James Holzer and everybody over there. Thank you to those guys for what they're doing for me, and can't wait for the rest of the season. But Mid South Coating Company, thank you for what you do, my main sponsor, and basically everybody that's gotten me here to this point. Thank you very much.
Hey, Landon, well, we're going to go ahead and send you back down to your teammates there at Next Level Motorsports. Go have fun celebrating with them and have a good night. We'll see you in Nashville, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it, Ted. That was our top 3 on the night. But that is not all for this season. We are just getting started here on Speed Racing Network's Cup Series. We're going to go to Music City. Excuse me. I almost said Sin City. I'm like getting all ahead to Las Vegas. We're going to be at Nashville Super Speedway next week for the Music City 175. That's going to be on Sunday, August 22nd. Catch it at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And Ted, I know you're looking forward to this one.
I am. I mean, this track, like I said in my post-race interview Thursday, it reminds me of a 1 mile Bristol, man. I mean, it's going to be one groove down by the bottom. You're going to have to move people a little bit if they don't get out of the way. So tempers may flare.
Yeah, well, we'll see just how it shapes out. It's going to be a fun one. We had a really fun race tonight here in Homestead. A lot of action all over the track, and I'm sure we will see exactly the same thing next week at Nashville. But the next race here on Speed Racing Network is going to be in our truck series. We're going to be in Nashville for that too, for the Music City 110. Catch it on Wednesday, August 18th at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. And Ted, I'm not sure that you've seen too much truck racing action this year, but this has been by far the most exciting series to watch, and I don't expect it to get any less exciting when we get out to Nashville.
Oh, those guys are aggressive, and a good majority of them know exactly what to do at the right moment. So as long as they're not 4 wide like they were at Homestead tonight, they should be able to take the truck back in one piece in Nashville.
Good Lord, I hope they are not 4 wide, because that will not work, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. But it's going to be exciting. Yeah, it's going to be exciting once we get to that race on Wednesday. So please, if you guys liked what you saw tonight, always like and subscribe to the channel. You'll know when we go live, and you can catch us on Wednesday, August 18th for the truck race. But for now, I'm Greg Olenik with my co-host Ted Rekich, and as always, we like to remind you here at Speed Racing Network to go faster.